WDPN studio, it's time for live and local sports talk. It's the Sam Bourquin Show.
I'm ready.
Give the show a call at 330-821-1310.
Good call, meatball.
Watch the Sam Bourquin Show on the AM1310 Facebook page, the Q92 YouTube page, and on X. This is the Sam Bourquin Show on AM1310 WDPN.
Picked off. Trimble out in front. And the slam. Inside and outside. Peterson buries a three. He also locks it. And Tiller throws it down.
No, you do not. Durant to Şengün. Oh!
It is a Tuesday edition of the Sam Bourquin Show. Welcome in, everybody. AM1310 WDPN, streaming on all of our social media platforms today. WDPN on Facebook, X, Twitter, the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. The chat is up and ready for you. Just head on over to the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. Ready to roll. Sam Bourquin here, Ryan Rainsberg on the other side of the glass. Welcome into the Tuesday edition, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. I hope you did not get stuck earlier today where we had a little mishap this morning. I don't know if you were listening to AM1310 WDPN over on our sister station Q92, but we had a little nonsense with the train tracks this morning. I don't know if you all heard about that or not. Norfolk Southern train derailed today. Our own Jordan Miller from Jordan Miller News popped on the shows this morning and was talking about it. And I thought, oh, no, not another one of these. I guess it took about 4 or 5 hours to get everything going. I guess they had to bring a crane in to move the cars on the track. And then we come to find out that the train, the one car that derailed, was carrying sodium bicarbonate, which is pretty much baking soda. And then the car snapped, and that was it. The train stopped, and I guess traffic was a little bit of a bear this morning. Route 62, they had the detour to Beeson Street if you were on 225. But looks like everybody made it through okay. No injuries, no crazy stuff like it happened, not too long ago down south in southern Ohio. But everything looks like it was okay. Nothing hazardous. So, but I was just, geez, I heard about that this morning, and I heard Jordan on a couple of the shows, and I thought, man. So my first thought was, am I going to be able to get into work today? But again, this was at like 8:30, 9 o'clock. And they said it was going to take they said at the time, probably 6 to 8 hours to get everything moving again. I don't think it took quite that long. But, boy, if you were in that this morning, hope everything turned out for you okay. Phone lines are open, 330-821-1310, 330-821-1310. We're going to be with you until 6 o'clock tonight. Coming up on the show this afternoon, we're going to talk a little Cavs-Knicks as the Cavs are at home against New York tonight. Rocket Arena at 7:30. I'm not going to put too much crazy stuff into this game tonight, but I certainly don't want to see the Cavaliers go out there and get manhandled and pushed around like they usually do against the New York Knicks. I will not be happy if that happens tonight. I want to see what this club has learned. I want to see how they go up against the New York Knicks now that we have some new faces in the lineup with James Harden and Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder. I want to see what things look like now that we've got some guys that have a little chip on their shoulder. I mentioned during the show yesterday that Sunday's game against OKC, I saw our guys kind of reverting back to the soft label, if you will. And I don't really want to see that tonight. Cavs Knicks, Rocket Arena. I believe it's a 7:30 tip, and I think this game's on Peacock tonight. I'll have to look. I know it's not on regular FanDuel TV. I think it might be on Peacock. I don't think it's on regular NBC. I have to go back and look. But I want to see what the Cavaliers bring to the table tonight as far as aggressiveness and good, hard, solid basketball. Rebounding the ball, getting position, blocking out on free throws. I want to see what this looks like tonight. Because the Knicks are going to come in here like they always do. They're going to roll the ball out on the basketball floor. And they're just going to think they can push the Cavaliers around. Because they usually do. Will the Cavs change things up tonight a little bit? I would no. I was going to say, I would even settle with the defeat tonight as long as this team showed a little fight. No, I want to see this team get a win, but I want to see them do it in I want them to kind of play a little bit of a playoff style game tonight. I want to see against this New York Knicks team, which you probably will play in the postseason at some point. I want to see how they go up and fight this team. Cavs are a 4.5 point favorite tonight, by the way, at home. Looking at the injury report tonight, McBride is out for the Knicks. Of course, Strus has been out for the Cavs. I think everybody else is pretty healthy and ready to go. Knicks, 37 wins on the year. Cavaliers, 36 wins on the year. Now, also keep in mind, this Cavaliers team is in the midst of a 5 out of 8, 5 out of 7 games played and days played. So hopefully they got enough to get it done down the stretch tonight. But I want to see what this team does against New York. I want to see James Harden flex a little bit. I want to see Jarrett Allen not get out-muscled in the paint. I want to see our guys rebound. I want to see Dean Wayne get out there and do the little things. I'm not worried about guys like Mitchell and, I just, and if Schroeder and Keon Ellis get some minutes, and I'm sure they will, I want to see what they bring to the table. How different is this Cavs team going to look tonight against the Knicks than when we had our team before the trade? 7:30 tip tonight at Cleveland. Cavs -4.5. Knicks in town. I'm not going to call it a statement game, but you know what I mean. I want to see what the Cavaliers bring to the table. And then tomorrow night, it's right back at it. Game's over tonight. Get on the plane and get up to Milwaukee to play the Bucks. Now, they don't have Giannis, okay? They got some other guys that are out, but they've won 24, 25 games this year. And then you got the Pistons on Friday, and then you get I think they get the Brooklyn Nets on Sunday. So up until the Brooklyn game on Sunday, this team is going to get tested this week. And we're going to find out what they got. We're going to see how Kenny Atkinson weaves his way through this week as far as lineups, as far as substitution patterns, how deep you're going to go down the bench, what kind of position you're going to put these guys in. We will learn a little bit about this team this week. And that to me makes it kind of fun during the mundane regular season that the NBA is. I think we may learn a lot about this team the next couple of days, and I'm looking forward to it. Would love to see Harden go off a little bit. We haven't really seen, the big game James Harden go out there and get 38, 39, 40. Number one, he hasn't had to. Number two, I think he's still trying to kind of feel his way through a little bit, still early on with this team. Now they have played a handful of games, but in basketball, it takes a little while to figure everything out. Who's going to play where? Who's going to be there when you go left? Who's going to go right? Working things through with Donovan Mitchell, working things through with the coaching staff, and it's a little bit of a process. I'd say another 5, 6, 7 games from now, that process will pretty much be over, and they'll know exactly who they're going to be the next 18, 19 games as we close out the regular season.
We got Buck chiming in on the text line with 7088. He says, time for Mobley to step up and show the Cavs he's ready to make a playoff run.
Yes. Excuse me. Buck, I was just going to get to Mobley. He played, let's see. They played the Thunder on Sunday. He was on a minutes restriction. We'll see how many minutes he plays tonight. But I want to see what Mobley brings to the table tonight. There's three guys I'm going to watch tonight very, very closely. And it's Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley, and Dennis Schroeder. I'm going to watch Mobley and Allen to see if they pick up their physical play. And I'm going to watch Schroeder and see how he reacts to the game tonight, because he's not a loose cannon, but he'll get in your face and he'll light you up if he has to. I'm talking about guys on his own team. He ain't afraid to tell somebody, hey, you're not getting it done. You need to do it. So I'm going to watch him, how he reacts tonight, and then I'm going to watch Mobley and Allen and how physical they are against New York. Are they going to let Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson just shove them all over the floor? I'm going to be watching those two. I expect Harden to go out and, get his. I expect Spida to go out and get his. I think you will see maybe a little bit more of Sam Merrill tonight. I just got a hunch on that. I think you may see Tyson a little bit more tonight. Just got a little hunch there. But I'll be watching this thing closely. Now, I'm not going to get home until, 7:30, 8:30. I will be home probably in time to watch the second half. I'll be keeping up with it, but I'll be able to watch the second half. I want to see what kind of game this team brings tonight. Interested to see what the vibe in the arena is going to be like too. It usually gets a little louder, a little spicier when the New York Knicks are in town. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Knicks Cavs tonight, 7:30. OAC tournament begins tonight. Mount Union gets to kick back and watch. 2 games tonight at 7 o'clock. Mount Union has the bye. Otterbein has the bye. All right. You got Wilmington, Ohio Northern. Again, Heidelberg is taking on Muskingum. And then the Purple Raiders will play Thursday night. Otterbein will play Thursday night. And then the winner of those 2 games will play Saturday for the OAC Tournament Championship. So we'll keep an eye on that for you tonight as well. Guardians taking on the Dodgers this afternoon out at Camelback Ranch in Arizona. We'll peek in on that one during the day. We'll let you know what's going on between the Guards and the Dodgers. Dom Capers. Yeah. You know Dom Capers. Mount Union graduate. He is hooking on with the Cleveland Browns. He is going to be a senior defensive assistant coach for the Browns. This was reported by ESPN's Jeremy Fowler earlier this morning. Dom Capers, 75 years old. Got his coaching start back in 1972 with Kent State. He has spent the last 3 years as the defensive assistant with the Panthers. This will be interesting. This will be interesting to see what Dom Capers at the age of 75 can lend to this Browns defense. That's cool. That's a cool little story. He still looks good too. I saw a couple of photos today on the TV when they brought it was like a 30, 40-second story on the national thing. He looks good. Coach looks good for 75. So that'll be neat. So congratulations, Dom Capers, now member of the Cleveland Browns coaching staff. What else we got cooking today? High school hoops. Girls tournament action tonight. We'll tell you who's playing who in the divisions. We'll get you ready for our broadcast schedule later on this week between Mount Union and high school between 1310 WDPN and, of course, Q92 Radio. We got our Sam Bourquin Show poll question of the day. Well, I guess we'll give you that too. We'll give you that now before we go to the break. Also, I get some information on that Floyd Mayweather Jr. Manny Pacquiao fight. And we got our Sammy B's best bet coming up, 429, 529. We have our On This Day in Sports History. Sweeping changes with the UFL, the United Football League, that league that won't be around in 3 years. Significant rule changes today. We'll tell you all about those as well. But the poll question today, we thought we'd have some fun with it. Poll question today, get your comments in, get them in the chat. If you were to start up your own podcast, what would it be about? If you got to start up your very own podcast, what would it be about? What would the platform be? I'm very anxious to see some of these responses today because I know some of you already have a podcast or are getting to a serious point to where you're going to do it. But I thought we'd throw that out there this afternoon. 330-821-1310. You can drop your comments on the WDPN X page, both of my Facebook pages, and the Q92 Radio YouTube chat. If you would start up a podcast, what would it be about? Let us know. Great response today. We'll get back into some of those comments, and we'll take a look at the high school tournament schedule this week when we return on 1310 WDPN.
Of all the ways to get ahead in life, we're one of them, and we're legal. The John Tesh Radio Show.
I'm John Tesh, and we couldn't be happier about bringing you intelligence for your life every day. We have a room full of researchers gathering the information and ideas you need to make your life simpler and better, and to make you the smartest person in the room.
You're just trying to be better. We're just trying to help. The John Tesh Radio Show.
Join me for music and intelligence for your life, 10 to 3, Monday through Saturday, only on AM 1310 WDPN.
It's intelligence for your life.
What does it mean to live here, serve here in the Ohio Army National Guard?
It means I can attend college full-time and not have to take out student loans to pay for my tuition.
It means I can work my civilian job during the week and support my state and nation in times of need.
You too can live here, serve here as a member of the Ohio Army National Guard. Learn more about part-time service with full-time benefits at nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard in coordination with the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
How's Tommy doing now?
Much better.
You said it was asthma?
Yeah, he started with this cough and then he was wheezing.
That's terrifying.
Doctor said hidden triggers can make it worse. Things like dust, mold, and even pests.
Pests?
Yeah, droppings and allergens from cockroaches and rodents can seriously impact children with asthma or allergies.
I had no idea.
We're making sure our home stays pest-free.
Don't let pests put your family's health at risk. Visit pestworld.org to learn more. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
T10 WDPN. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. Phone lines are open. 330-821-1310. 330-821-1310. Just got a text from Coach Creamer over at Central Catholic. Due to join us at 4:45 today. He sends me a text about 4 minutes ago. I'm on the gym floor practicing now. I'm like, okay, we'll call you at 4:45. Next text, hey, do it now. Oh, why do things have to be so difficult? We got the news and weather coming up here in about 60 seconds. So we are looking forward to that. Looking forward to hearing, you know what I want to hear today? There's Coach Rainsberg. You're going to have to get a hold of Coach during the break. I'm looking forward to hearing and seeing a nice, long, like 7 to 10 day forecast where there's no snow, no temperatures below like 35 degrees. You think we're gonna be able to get that? I'm about there. I'm about there with the snow in the cold. My God, it was like 16 degrees this morning. Snow was coming down when I left the Y last night. I'm about there. Aren't you? Aren't you guys and gals ready to kind of stick a fork in the snow in the winter? I think I'm about ready to go. All right, we got the news and the weather coming up here at the bottom of the hour. We'll take a break and come back with more of the Sam Bourquin Show right here on AM1310 WDPN.
The latest news and the current Alliance area weather forecast are up next on AM1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 3:30. The White House says President Trump will use his State of the Union address to argue he and Republicans in control of Congress are best suited to tackle the public's concerns about the cost of living. Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt also says the speech will be a celebration of 250 years of America's independence. The president expected to use the annual address to a joint session of Congress to proclaim the economy is booming while endorsing increased military spending and tighter voter ID rules leading up to November elections. Several Democrats in Congress plan to skip Trump's speech. Millions crossed the Northeast United States contended with treks to school and work as they dug out from a snowstorm that blanketed the region. Canceled flights, disrupted transit, and downed power lines. Snow moved north Tuesday, giving way to sunshine in parts of the region. Another storm originating in the Great Lakes is round the corner. In New York City, Mayor Zoran Mandani declared more than 1 million students in the nation's largest public school system had a regular day. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky says Russia has not broken Ukrainians nor triumphed in its war. He spoke 4 years after an invasion that has tested the resolve of Kyiv and its allies and fueled European fears about the scale of Moscow's ambitions. More than a dozen senior European officials headed to the Ukrainian capital to mark the anniversary. Conflict has killed thousands of people, upended life for millions of Ukrainians, and created instability beyond its borders. Zelensky said his country's withstood the onslaught by Russia's bigger and better equipped army and said Vladimir Putin has not achieved its goals. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy announced Friday commercial driver's license tests will be given only in English. Duffy said the Biden administration did not, quote, enforce English proficiency rules, and some states issued driver's licenses illegally. Duffy also said former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg decided there should not be any rigorous requirements to certify a school as well qualified to train drivers. The Department of Transportation previously ended a loophole that allowed migrants to obtain a CDL. New regulation prevents foreign drivers who have not been subject to consular and interagency screening from getting their CDLs. The government of Mexico confirmed 25 National Guardsmen, 1 prison guard, and a civilian woman died in a series of attacks as a direct response to the killing of Ruben El Mencho Cervantes, leader of the cartel Jalisco New Generation. The terrorist leader died Sunday after a raid by Special Forces soldiers. During the raid, cartel gunmen deployed Russian RPGs and used high-powered weapons in an attempt to prevent the capture of their leader. Soon after, CJNG forces began carrying out terror-style attacks in at least 18 states throughout Mexico. A Crime Prevention Research Center report shows transgender individuals commit disproportionate shares of mass public and active shooting attacks. CPRC studied data from 2018 to 2024, finding attacks by transgender shooters were at least 12 times their share of the population in 2024. They observed using only the FBI data over the entire 6-year period, transgender individuals commit active shooting attacks at about 3 times their share of the population. 33 degrees at 3:33 for WDPN News. I'm Clint Marshall.
Here's Mark Johnson's forecast on AM 1310 WDPN.
For the afternoon, we'll get a little sunshine mixing with clouds, staying dry and cold through the day, a high of 35 degrees. Overnight tonight, more scattered snow arriving after midnight. Cloudy skies, our low near 30. I am Mark J. Weather from 3 News.
This place has a pulse. You hear it in the canopy, feel it in the ground. Life, fully illuminated, engulfs you. From the birds singing in the treetops above to the tiniest insects in the soil below. You take a deep, cleansing breath, filling your lungs with the essence of the forest. Now, imagine it's all gone. Healthy, life-giving forests reduced to nothing. No singing birds, no lush canopy, and water and food in short supply around the world. Time is running out to protect our forests, and without our love, they can and will disappear. It's our choice. Love it or lose it. Help protect our forests. Visit World Wildlife Fund at wwf.org/love.
$1310 WDPN. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. Also streaming live on all of our social media platforms. WDPN on Facebook, X, Twitter, and the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. Keep those comments coming in on the chat. Today's poll question: if you were going to start up your very own podcast, what would it be about? Get those comments in, and we will talk about those throughout the afternoon. Cavs Knicks tonight, Guardians and the Dodgers underway out in Arizona. We got lots of stuff to get to this afternoon. Well, let's bring on Matt Creamer, the head basketball coach of the Crusaders of Canton Central Catholic. So anxious to come on the show today. He's on an hour and 10 minutes early. Coach, good afternoon. How you doing today?
Got a break in practice. We're doing some prelims, and we're ready to go.
All right, Coach C. All right, regular season in the books. 11 up, 11 down. And I will say, because I just looked at it for the 50th time, this has got to be one of your most challenging schedules, I would say, in your coaching career. Yes? No?
Yeah, I'd say it's one of those tougher ones, Sam. We've got a lot of big opponents on there. And what the tough thing was, we had guys that were injured, a couple starters out for a few of those, but you learn from that, and you keep on and you keep going.
So what did this group learn about the incredible competition? And as you mentioned, having to go into some games a little bit, maybe undersized or outmanned because you had guys down with illness or sickness or whatever. What did this group, do you think, learn and take from that as you prepare for the tournament?
I think the value ball possessions, every little thing that happens in the game, you got to perfect. You got to get 50-50 balls, get extra rebounds, take a charge, make an extra pass, make free throws, learn how to do all those things and build and maintain leads. And if you can do that against really good teams, you can compete if you may not have the athletes that the other team has. And so I think that's been our best learning curve, Sammy, for the whole season, just those things I mentioned.
So looking back at some of the wild nights that you had to play, some really good teams. Of course, St. V here recently, you played a very good Hoban team. You played an excellent Maslin team, a very good McKinley team, a pretty good Glen Oak, Colonel Crawford, which you beat them. They were undefeated. Perry, who's kind of coming along here a little bit. You played Fitch, you played Ursuline. Is there a game or two, Matt, out of those that you really learned a lot about your team moving forward?
Well, I think one of the things that hurt us was losing at Glen Oak in the overtime. We had command of the game in the last few minutes of the fourth quarter. Kind of took some quick bad shots, and then we made a couple bad decisions on defense and fouled someone that sent them to the line when it was the fifth foul, and they tied it up, and then they beat us in overtime. And if you stay away from those little mistakes like that, you win that game. But I think the other thing was we learned against Colonel Crawford. I really did probably a better job coaching at the end instead of relying on just, hey, let's make a shot. Let's get them to foul us. And, work the ball around, and it's not so much a delay, but it's spreading the floor with the ball, and we'll take a nice shot if we get it, but let's make sure it goes in. And that's how the season goes, up and down. You're playing at McKinley against them. We played Ursula and Fitch tough. McKinley got us good. I want to say St. B got us good, but we were in the Masson game. We were in the Hoban game against bigger opponents, and that helps us build that type of knowledge to defend in the tournament and keep going.
No doubt. Coach Matt Creamer of Canton Central Catholic, our guest here on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN. Tournament play begins for the Crusaders on Friday at 6 p.m. They're the 10 seed. They will be at number 9, Berkshire. That's at 6 p.m. on Friday. Coach, I got to ask you about the tournament draw. What were your expectations going in, your thoughts after, and the fact that it's going to be a 9-10 matchup right off the rip?
Well, I think the thing was that we were glad to get a 10th seed, being 11-10 at the time, and played St. V after the tournament draw, and we were 11-11. But, Sammy, our strength of schedule was second toughest in Division 5 in the state of Ohio, behind Lutheran East. So that's what we prepare for. The only reason I went to that line in the bracket against Burton Berkshire is the simple fact that hopefully we can avoid Cleveland Lutheran East. I've lost them in the regional final a couple times, and them in Richmond Heights and the regional. So that was the one bracket where they are not waiting until that regional final. And that's kind of our goal, to get there and see what we can do and prepare for that.
Well, certainly that would make sense, because you guys have obviously you keep building with your district championships and your runs to the regional, and it always seems to that team's kind of in the way. So as long as you can avoid them, and funny things happen along the way, maybe this should be the year you can get through that door. Individually now, for you, who has been playing extra special basketball here the last month or so?
Well, we're led by Lance Velosky and Jake Bowling do bulk of our scoring, and then Will Miner does a lot of the interior scoring and rebounding, and he's really come on the last 8 or 9 games. He's kind of averaging a double-double in those, and Lance is averaging almost 13 or 14, and so is Bowling. But, those guys kind of lead us, but we've had other guys come in and spell out. Dylan Minnie's been in and out with injuries, and Max Fry's done a good job off the bench. Joey Meyer has been a starter up and down, and fills in and gets it done with Tyler Cook, another kid that comes off the bench and starts. And, we have like a starting 7 or 8 man rotation, just depending on matchups.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one of the things we're trying to look at. We've been able to get some sophomores some time during this latter part of the season. And so we've got 8 or 9 guys we can put out there. Let's get after it and go play.
Coach Matt Creamer, our guest from Canton Central Catholic. You mentioned Will Miner, Coach, and I remember him going out there as a freshman and trying to, work into his body and get the feel of the game and work on agility and quickness and shooting. What kind of success have you seen from Will since his freshman year until now?
Well, he's grown in size, strength, and in knowledge, and he's really done a great job with mid-range jump shots and in and around the basket. He's working on jump hooks and stuff off the board. One thing that we've really talked about is sprinting the floor all times. Get ahead of the ball, sprint the floor. And when he sprints the floor, we're tough to beat, because that's going to take a lot of people with him.
Mm-hmm.
And get up on the block. We've focused in the earlier part of the season with him trailing in our break and getting that rub screen up top, and then popping and pick and pop with him to shoot a 3. But we've kind of scrubbed all that, and we want him running to the rim, be a rim runner, get to the block, and we feed the ball into him on the break, and he scores quickly. And that's one way to get things going.
That was my next question on my list here. Is Will the kind of guy, we hear this about the NBA, getting guys involved early. Some of the, the big time coaching in college, get so-and-so involved early. Is that kind of like the thing with Will, to maybe get him into the flow so he's kind of sticking with you all night long?
Yeah, we want to get quick starts, Sammy. That helps all of us, I think. And, if you get a quick start and get after it, it helps Will. It helps our team get going. But our players get to see some success when they feed the ball into them. A lot of times you feed a ball into the post guy, and he's getting double, triple team. And so we're going to see how they're going to play. And then he can kick it out to the shooter, so we work inside out. And I think that's one of the better things we do instead of coming down and just pulling up for jump shots after a couple passes. Let's work inside out. That gets Will involved. And then he gets you involved. When they double down and try to dig for the ball, he gets the ball back out to you, and it's created space for your shot. It seemed to be working out pretty good.
Coach Matt Kramer, our guest from Canton Central Catholic here on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN. Crusaders in tournament action Friday night, 6 o'clock at Burton, Berkshire, 10 seed versus the 9. Coach, the tradition that you have brought to Central Catholic since you've taken the job, and not only did you get the first district championship in the history of the school, you've got many of them, and there's been tough schedules. There's been great district and regional road trips for your club. You've learned a lot, and I know the talent changes over the years, but do you get the feeling that this group again is ready to make that postseason charge? Are they starting to feel it and believe that they can go forward?
Well, I think we've built for that. We're kind of built that way, Sammy, with our schedule. But I was on tough the last couple of days, and I explained something to him before the practice started tonight. I said, I've been hard on you, and so is Coach Greenfelder, so is Coach Williams. We've been after him because this team has yet to win a tournament game. And I said, go to last year. I used to be tough on Luke Velosky and Jonathan Stengel and Easton Miller. Now it's this seniors group. I'm tough on them. And they shook their head. They kind of remember that. And that's one of the things. We want to go out and win a tournament game Friday. And it's not so much what we have to prepare what we want to do, not so much what the other team's doing. We want to keep doing what we do and perfect it and get better each step of the way.
Coach, what will, like the rest of today and then, Wednesday, Thursday, how will you guys, handle practice? Is there a little film work, extra shooting, less running? How do you handle the next couple of days?
Well, tonight after we're done about 4:45, we'll go up to the film room, up to my classroom and watch film with Berkshire. They've been watching it on Huddle over the weekend. And so we'll look at some things that we're going to do against them in the film and talk about. Tomorrow we'll have practice after school, about 3:15 to about 4:45. We'll go through our offensive, defensive breakdowns, our blobs and slobs, our press offense and defense, and go 5-on-0 man-to-man, 5-on-0 man offense, and then 5-on-0 zone offense, and then we'll do some shooting at the end. But it won't be a lot of heavy running tomorrow or even Thursday. And Thursday's practice will be a duplicate of what we're going to do tomorrow too, just to kind of refine it and put it in their brain. That's what we're going to do. And then we'll get on the bus 3 o'clock on Friday and head up to Geauga County.
Good stuff. Well, we wish you nothing but the best. Safe travels. Have a great couple of preparation practices, and best of luck to you and the crew on Friday. And let's keep her rolling.
All right, Sammy. Always a pleasure to talk to you. I appreciate it.
You got it, my man. Have a great practice, Coach. Thank you.
Thanks.
There he goes, Matt Kramer of the Central Catholic Crusaders, joining us here on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN. Coach was, if Coach was locked in today, and if you have heard interviews with Coach before, whether it's with me, hopefully me, and others, you can sort of tell within the first 30 or 45 seconds, is this going to be a loose interview? Is it going to be a funny interview? Is it going to be a serious interview? I got the feeling about 15 seconds in, it was all business today.
Yep, I was just going to say that was an all business interview.
Yep, and it's this time of the year. It's win or go home. And when you are used to now winning tournament games, when you are used to going to a regional, it's got to be all business. And Coach was all business. You could tell, even though this is the first tournament game, and the fact that, look, in the last several years, Central has had a first tournament game at home. Not this year. And you got to go on the road. As he mentioned, you got to go all the way up to Geauga County. Goofy things happen when you're away from home. So they are locked in and dialed in, and he's got them prepared and getting after them a little bit. And I'm I'm guessing that the next couple of practices are going to be, they're going to be hard. And then he'll lighten the load up a little bit on them Thursday, and they'll get on the bus and go up to Berkshire on Friday. But yeah, it's I could tell, right? What's the old saying? You got to read the room. And today there was no joking, there was no funny business. This was business today. And we wish Coach Kramer and the Crusaders nothing but the best. Their first tournament game again Friday. If you're looking to make the trip to Burton, Berkshire, it's in Geauga County. And that is a 6 p.m. start on Friday. Best of luck to the Crusaders, 11-11 in the regular season. But as we mentioned, old D5 Crusaders played Fitch, Ursuline, Norwayne, Perry, Warren, Harding, Boardman, McKinley, Massillon, Glen Oak, Lake, Cardinal, Mooney, Hoban, St. Vincent, St. Mary. I mean, come on, 11-11 with that schedule? That's pretty good. And I would say that they will be well prepared for their first tournament game coming up on Friday. 330-821-1310, 330-821-1310. We will step away. We'll take a break. We'll come back with more of the Sam Bourquin Show on AM 1310 WDPN.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-498-2098 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-498-2098 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-498-2098 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
I'm Scarlett Johansson. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. You can join the movement to end hunger by donating, volunteering, and advocating. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
We are the keepers of the wild, America's original and most invested conservationists. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving wildlife and the natural landscapes that define our nation. From rugged alpine ridgelines to peaceful tall grass prairies, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. Our funding has led to cleaner water, fresher air, and improved wildlife habitat. From abundant fish and waterfowl populations to robust deer and elk herds, nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters, stewards of the American outdoors.
America's hunters and target shooters, along with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, have invested more than $46 billion to help state fish and wildlife agencies manage and protect wildlife and wildlands across America. For more information, visit outdoorstewards.org.
I ain't happy.
I want to thank Kansas Central Catholic head basketball coach Matt Creamer for joining us on the program. Phone lines open if you want to pop in today, 330-821-1310, 330-821-1310. All right, now, our broadcast schedule for the rest of this week between here on 1310 WDPN and, of course, over on our FM at Q92. Tonight, Christian will have the call on Salem and West Branch. That'll be 7 o'clock tonight, I believe. 7 o'clock, we'll have it here on 1310 WDPN. as West Branch will play Salem. That's Division III, Northeast District 2. Other games tonight in D3, Louisville, Avon Lake. These games are all at 7 o'clock. Division 4, Marlington Northwest. Division 6, Canton Central Catholic and Kirtland, and Lake Center and Dalton. Other district semifinal action tonight. Division 1, 3, Division 2, 3. Here we go. Elyria at Jackson. Glen Oak at Strongsville. Stowe at McKinley. These games are all 7 o'clock tonight. D2, Perry at Warden Harding. Green at Twinsburg. Firestone at Massillon, Cleveland Heights, and Hoover. Division 3, Lake at Canfield. Division 4, East Liverpool at Carrollton. Division 5, Buckeye Local, Tusky Valley, Barnesville at Edison. Those games are tomorrow. All right. D1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tomorrow. And we told you about D3, 4, 6 tonight as far as the girls' high school hoops and the local schools that are in action. But tonight we will have Salem, West Branch. Salem, the 21st seed. West Branch, the 4 seed tonight, 7 o'clock. Christian on the call, 1310 WDPN. Thursday night, 7 o'clock here on 1310. Mount Union will play in an OAC conference semifinal. Now, we don't know who they're going to play yet, but we will have the Purple Raiders in action Thursday night at 7 here on WDPN. Friday on Q92, we will have Aurora at Louisville. That's Division 3 district semifinal. Aurora, Louisville at 7 p.m. That will be on our sister station, Q92. If Mount Union wins Thursday night, they will play Saturday at a time to be determined. Whatever time that is, we'll have it right here on 1310. If West Branch girls win tonight, we will have them Saturday afternoon at 4 from Lordstown here on 1310 WDPN. So a lot of ifs and maybes, but that's how it rolls in the tournament. That will be our schedule for this week between 1310 and, of course, Q92. Our poll question today, getting a lot of buzz. I got to get some of these comments in here before they disappear. Let's see here. Go Sammy Beatty and her Warrior teammates tonight beat Salem. That's courtesy of Hall of Fame City. So I want to get that out there. Our poll question today, if you were going to start up your own podcast, what would it be about? What would it be about if you had your own podcast? What would you do? I'm going to run down some of these here. Richard checking in. Health and nutrition and wellness. Brian Herberg's just sent me a picture of the Seinfeld show. What's Jerry and George sitting on the couch? Oh, my God. Sarah Ann checking in. She says she would be talking about selling luxury in a big box world. Mike says, dealing with ignorant people. I'm a part-time cashier at a liquor store. I would love to hear that. That's a podcast I would tune in for.
Yeah, that guy's definitely got the best stories.
Right. Can you imagine? Mark Hill says he would talk about Cleveland sports. Mike says he would talk about toxic masculinity and healthy masculinity. Donald says, I do have one, and it's about Louisville Leopard athletics. All right, Don, good job. Sean says he would do one about sports trading cards. Doug in the PTO says it would be a combination of rock music history, local high school sports history, and Ohio State football. That would be kind of cool. A little three-pronged attack there. Cindy Campbell, hope you're well, Cindy. Guess what she would talk about? Food. That's her gig. Hope you're well, Cindy. Sandy checking in says, helping others in our community. Again, the poll question today, if you had your own podcast, what would it be about? Mary Kay says it would be about the Cleveland Guardians. Betty says the NBA and the WNBA. Michael says he would talk about life as a nurse and Pittsburgh sports. Jim says he would talk about clocks. He sent me a picture of his, I believe this is I'm going to say that's a kitchen table. And there must be 75 clocks, different types of clocks on this table.
Clocks are fascinating.
Wow.
They really are.
I have to send you this picture. This is crazy. Mike Young says he would talk about bowling. David McRoberts. David, hope you're well. He says his podcast would focus on sports as an extension of the education process. Sportsmanship and competitiveness is an asset, not a virtue. Jim Baumgartner says, Sam, you know what I'd talk about. Tournament bass fishing, because of course I would. Get them in. If you had your own podcast, if you were going to start your podcast tomorrow, what would it be about? Get your comments in on the Q92 Radio YouTube page, my Facebook pages. You can drop them in there. Also at AM1310WDPN X, we got that poll question up there for you as well. 1 hour in, 2 more big ones to go. Lots to get to. Hang out with us here on this Tuesday afternoon. 1310 WDPN.
An important part of the Alliance community since 1953. You're listening to AM 1310 WDPN Alliance.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Ahead of the State of the Union tonight, a new poll showing immigration is a key concern for Americans in rating President Trump's performance in office so far in his second term, along with the economy and tariffs. Here's ABC's Sherry Preston.
8 in 10 voters who approve of the job President Trump is doing so far say immigration is his strongest issue. But 6 in 10 who do not agree with the president's policies tell ABC News, Washington Post, and Ipsos in a new poll they feel immigration is the worst thing the president has done during his second term, with half of those voters citing increased enforcement and the actions of ICE as the main reasons why.
Today, marking 4 years since Russia invaded Ukraine, both countries have been deadlocked over the past year on trying to finalize a peace deal. Paramount submitting its latest takeover bid to buy Warner Brothers Discovery, raising its offer to all cash in a deal of $77.9 billion in the heated bidding war with Netflix. This is ABC News.
Switch to TurboTax and file your own taxes for free in the app, because free shouldn't cost $15.99. Right? Free Tax USA? Or is it cost $15.99 Tax USA? Switch to TurboTax and file free. Free state, free federal, 100% free, 100% guaranteed. Now this is taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Switch to TurboTax and file your own taxes in the app for free by 2/28. Excludes TurboTax expert products. $15.99 charge from Free Tax USA is for state taxes.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Now, the latest Alliance area news from Clint Marshall on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 4:02. Crews worked today to clear a train derailment after a hopper car separated from a Norfolk Southern train in Alliance. It happened around 8 a.m. near Walnut Avenue and Keystone Street. Safety Service Director Mike Drager says a main beam on the car broke, causing it to spill sodium bicarbonate. No injuries have been reported. Multiple rail crossings between Alliance and Sebring were blocked and expected to remain closed for several hours. Man scheduled to be arraigned tomorrow in Canton Municipal Court in connection with a February 17th shooting. Canton police say targeted a vehicle with a child inside. 44-year-old Larry Grimes of Canton arrested Monday and charged with complicity to commit felonious assault. He traveled with 41-year-old Dion Davis of Jackson Township to the Hall of Fame Fuel Mart on Sherrick Road Southeast. Davis allegedly fired at the vehicle after a dispute. He's scheduled for a status conference tomorrow. A Lake Township man facing federal charges for lying to U.S. immigration officials about his role in the 1994 Rwandan genocide has his trial postponed. 53-year-old Eric Nishimiye, a former Goodyear engineer, was set to go to court in Boston March 16th. Prosecutors say witnesses will testify they saw him at 7 killings and roadblocks. His defense attorneys deny any involvement. They say they were detained and threatened during a recent trip to Rwanda. Canton officials say utility rates will rise starting March 29th to fund infrastructure improvements and cover rising operational costs. The average customer will pay $6.36 more per month, or about $76 annually, with sewer rates increasing 15%, water 13.5%, and sanitation 2.7%. Out-of-city customers will continue to pay a 150% surcharge. The Stark County Educational Service Center facing a federal lawsuit filed by former attorney Mary Jo Shannon Slick. Slick, who served as the ESC's general counsel for more than 28 years, claims she was wrongfully fired after her position was eliminated and her contract terminated October 16th. The ESC alleges she improperly removed and shredded documents and stored electronic files locally without returning them. The Stark County judge recently ordered Slick to submit her work computers for forensic imaging after finding she failed to comply with a temporary restraining order to return records. Former Alliance Law Director Caitlin Wire has been hired as an assistant prosecutor in the criminal division of the Summit County Prosecutor's Office. She was appointed law director in 2021 after Jennifer Arnold resigned and stepped down in 2024. She withdrew from a primary bid for Stark County Common Pleas Court judge that year after omitting her former surname on nominating petitions. Mayor Andy Grove reappointed Wire, but she dropped her re-election bid in 2025. Travelers will soon have new options for coastal getaways from Akron-Canton Airport. Breeze Airways adding seasonal nonstop flights to Portland, Maine starting July 2nd and daily service to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina beginning July 1st. Airport officials say the new routes provide easy access to festivals, beaches, and other popular destinations. Stark County voters will see a crowded ballot in the May 5th primary, with new write-in candidates joining key races in the 6th Congressional District Democratic primary. Christopher LaFont of Bethesda filed as a write-in, facing 6 other Democrats challenging incumbent Michael Ruley. Republican Julie Kelly also seeks the seat. The 29th Ohio Senate District, Libertarian Zach Moore of Minerva filed as a write-in, competing against Democrat Thomas West and incumbent Republican Jane Timken. Portage County judge has sentenced an Akron man to 4.5 years in prison for a shooting at a bar in Kent. Common Pleas Judge Becky Doherty issued the punishment Monday to 19-year-old Jack Massey. He pleaded guilty last month to having weapons under disability, inducing panic, and aggravated menacing. On October 30th, Massey fired a handgun in a crowded stairwell at Bar Lucci in downtown, sparking panic. No one was seriously hurt. Massey was on parole for a 2023 felonious assault conviction. Federal lawsuit against Ursuline High School in the Catholic Diocese of Youngstown alleges a female student was sexually harassed and physically assaulted by a football player. The school and diocese are asking the court to dismiss the complaint, saying the incidents between 2023 and 2024 did not constitute actionable harassment and any discipline taken was appropriate. The plaintiffs claim the defendants failed to follow court rules on motions and are requesting attorney fees. Judge Benita Pearson will review the motions. A Franklin County Common Pleas Court judge set a $1,000 recognizance bond Monday for a Warren woman accused of Medicaid fraud. 60-year-old Tanya Ware was arraigned Monday afternoon on charges of Medicaid fraud and theft. Ware, one of 9 people accused in a broader investigation alleging nearly $478,000 in combined losses. Investigators say the woman billed for services between May 2024 and last June while traveling in Arizona, Florida, Texas, and Bahamas. Attorneys report the theft in her case totaled over $4,000. Another court hearing has not yet been scheduled. 33 degrees at 4:07. This is the local edition of WDPN News. I'm Clint Marshall.
Meteorologist Mark Johnson has the latest forecast on AM 1310 WDPN.
For the afternoon, we'll get a little sunshine mixing with clouds, staying dry and cold through the day, a high of 35 degrees. Overnight tonight, more scattered snow arriving after midnight. Cloudy skies, our low near 30. I am Mark J. Weather from 3 News.
Live from the AM 1310 WDPN studio, it's time for live and local sports talk. It's the Sam Bourquin Show.
I'm ready.
Give the show a call at 330-821-1310.
Good call, meatball.
Watch the Sam Bourquin Show on the AM1310 Facebook page, the Q92 YouTube page, and on X. This is the Sam Bourquin Show on AM1310 WDPN.
Picked off. Trimble out in front. And the slam. Inside and outside. Peterson buries the three. Also locked. And Tiller throws it down.
No, you do not. Durant to Şengün. Oh!
Well, NBA hoops last night there. Some college basketball games. Couple of good ones. Hey, Sammy's best bet hit last night. Yeah. A little congratulatory for myself. Why not? And you too, if you all jumped on that. We gave out North Carolina plus 3.5 last night. 2.5 at home against Louisville. Carolina won the game outright. So we had a nice winner there for you. Houston laid a gigantic egg in Kansas last night. Jayhawks rolled. Cavaliers and the New York Knicks coming up tonight. 7:30. The game is on Peacock if you want to check it out. 7:30.
Oh, I can watch that.
You got Peacock?
Yeah, I have it temporarily from one of the Super Bowl, so I guess still got it for like another week.
Oh, how long did they what was your timetable on that?
A month.
Oh, a month.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Usually it's like 7 days.
I had to so
I
had to this was funny. My friend said on Super Bowl, he was like, hey, you know, if you sign up for a free month of Walmart Plus, they'll give you a free month of Peacock with it. I was like, okay. I've had a Walmart account for a while. They'll probably be begging me to take that free month. And they were. So, yeah, I got a free month of Walmart Plus and a free month of Peacock.
Very good.
Doing nothing.
Watch the Cavs tonight, 7:30.
Yeah.
I'll expect a full report tomorrow at 3:00.
Well, that's going to be a problem, Sam, because we have a basketball game tonight.
Oh, that's right. Well, you can watch, let's see, 7:00, 8:30. You can probably watch,
I can watch
the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I can watch the last, 10 minutes of it.
There you go.
It's going to be riveting.
That's all you need.
Yeah,
might be a close, might go overtime. You'll be getting there at the perfect time.
That could be the best part of the game for all I know.
Well, it usually is. It usually is in the NBA. It usually is. Phone lines are open, 330-821-1310, 330-821-1310. You can text the show at 330-924-7088, and you can also get involved in the chat on our Q92 Radio YouTube channel. It's up and ready to roll. Christian's got the call tonight. Can you pop me down just a little bit in my headphones over there? That's good right there. Christian's got, a little bit more. A little bit further down. There we go. That's good. Perfect. Christian's got the call tonight of West Branch and Salem. That's a 7:00 tip here at 1310 WDPN Girls High School Tournament Hoops. We will be, I'll be checking out, I'll be looking at the scores of the two OAC tournament games tonight. Of course, Mount Union, they'll be watching both, right? Raiders will get back on the floor Thursday at 7. Tonight's games are, trying to do this off the top of my head. Wilmington will be at Ohio Northern, and then Heidelberg will play Muskingum. Those are the two games tonight, with Mount Union and Otterbein have the bye. They'll be in action on Thursday. And if the Raiders win Thursday, they'll be home Saturday for the OAC Conference Championship, Tournament Championship. Not sure what time yet, but as soon as we find out, if that comes to be, we will definitely let you know. Speaking of Mount Union, I want to shout out Dom Capers, Mount Union graduate. He is now a member of the Cleveland Browns coaching staff. He's been hired on as a senior defensive assistant coach. So welcome Coach Capers to the Browns, and see if he can help keep that defense on top where it's been for most of the past couple of years. And by the way, whenever I get a chance to thank Dom Capers, I do. Coach, thank you for help building that press box over at the University of Mount Union. The Dom Capers press box. It is fantastic. Best press box in the OAC. Hands down. We are spoiled there.
We really are.
We are. Now, the only complaint, and this isn't on Dom, because I'm sure he didn't write out the blueprints. He just kind of wrote the check. We got to find a way to get the windows to open in our box. Got to find a way to do that. You're laughing over there.
We got a great comment from Purple Suit on YouTube.
Uh-oh.
He says, Dom Capers, Mount All-Timer and the best hair in all of football.
Yes. Coach still looks good, man. I said that when we came on the show today. He is 75. He still looks great. Really looks good. But yeah, if we could get those windows to open, oh, wow. That would be super. Now, they did get the air conditioning up and rolling, so that was good. The heater works really good. But you know me, especially when the weather's decent enough, love the open windows, the feel for the crowd, the feel for the energy in the stadium, feel for the weather that day. I tell you what, I will be more than happy to come over and help with that project if need be. I can just see Nate, Mr. P, Mike Parnell, just shaking their head right now at the radio, saying, Bourquin, aren't you ever happy? Are you never happy with anything? I just want the windows to open. That's all. Or, you know what I would do? You know what would be really cool? Put us in the photo bay where the cameras are, because that baby wide open. It's the best view in the stadium. That's where I take a lot of my pregame videos and put them up on social media, TikTok and everything. That's where I take the videos before all the games, because it is awesome. Let's see here. Purple Suit, get the windows open, or maybe give us some night games to tailgate. Yeah, that's another thing. When's the last time Mount hosted a night game?
I know the football games are always at 1 or 2.
1:30.
Yeah, 1 or 1:30.
And then playoff games are at noon. But when I broke into the radio biz in 90, and then I made a move from one station to the next in 93. And when I was at the Canton station, we used to do Mount football games. Not all of them, but we would do, I don't know, a couple a year, and then the playoffs, and then the Stag Bowl. And early in my career, Mount would usually play at least one home game at night. Sometimes it was a non-conference game, or maybe it was a conference game if it was going to be in like September. And they would play at I think they would play at 6:30. It was either 6:30 or 7 o'clock, and they would host the game at night, which I thought was awesome. Now, this is back before the Dom Capers press box, obviously, and a lot of great changes they made over at the stadium. But they always used to play at least one game at night at home, and it was really cool. And I was kind of wondering if that would maybe ever be in the plans again, or if they talked about it, or it doesn't work out with the travel. Now that John Carroll was left, they had to work out this other agreement with another conference, and now you're going to be playing 2 of those games, and because the travel's a little bit more immersive, maybe playing a night game wouldn't work, because you want to get that team in here and get them out and still get them home in a decent hour without them having to maybe spend the night or, travel through, the wee hours of the morning. Not exactly sure how that works, but that is a great point by Purple Suit. I think that would be great if we could get a night game. Just one. Just one game, maybe in September when it's a beautiful September evening. Temperatures, maybe in the 50s or 60s. The sunset, there's always a beautiful sunset over there. I think that would be great. So that's the only two requests I have today. Open windows in our broadcast booth and play a night game. That's all. I don't ask for much.
Mike on YouTube says, "Are you going to broadcast playoff games from the open bay? Such lovely weather at that time of year."
Oh yeah, I would. I would. Well, heck, we do some high school games, say like at Lake and Louisville and a couple others that are like open air press boxes. There's nothing. There's no windows. There's no doors. There's no nothing. And you let Mother Nature right on in. And I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Now, sometimes, when we get a little bit deeper into winter, it becomes a little bit of a challenge. But I don't mind. I've always been atmosphere guy. Get that crowd mic out the window. And let's take it all in. Let's put you there on the 50-yard line. You can hear everything, and we'll try to paint that picture as best we can. We will have high school hoops tonight. Christian's got the call. West Branch, Salem. Good luck to the Warriors tonight. Thursday night, Mount Union hoops. It's 7 p.m. You can join myself and Keller here on 1310 WDPN. Friday, over on our sister station, Q92, high school hoops, we will have Aurora at Louisville at 7. I will also be doing my show from Louisville Friday afternoon beginning at 3 right here. And, of course, we'll have some hoops for you on Saturday as well. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll get you back into our Sam Bourquin Show poll question of the day. I will tell you about the brand new rule changes for the UFL that kicks off here in March. You are not going to believe some of these rule changes. I mean, they are really trying to gimmick this league up. And some of these rule changes are absurd. We'll go down the list. We'll get into that when we get back. We'll take a break right now. 1310 WDPN.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-498-2098 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-498-2098 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-498-2098 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
How's Tommy doing now?
Much better.
You said it was asthma?
Yeah, he started with this cough and then he was wheezing.
That's terrifying.
Doctor said hidden triggers can make it worse. Things like dust, mold, and even pests.
Pests?
Yeah, droppings and allergens from cockroaches and rodents can seriously impact children with asthma or allergies.
I had no idea.
We're making sure our home stays pest-free.
Don't let pests put your family's health at risk. Visit pestworld.org to learn more. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for and there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh,
That's a shame. That mug was a fan favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Here we go again. Welcome back, 1310 WDPN, the Sam Bourquin Show. Hope you're having a great day. Sun's out, no snow. That's 2 wins right there. Phone lines open for you at 330-821-1310. Get in on the chat on the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. How many days until the first Mount Union football game for 2026? Where are we at here? We're almost at the end of February. I think, Friday's the 27th. So by the time, but next week we'll be into March. So March, April, May, June, July. Oh my God. Like 6 months and 2 weeks. We'll be playing football again.
Oh, good. Good.
Too early for that.
I figured you were going to say 2 months at this point. The time.
Yeah.
Man, Mount Union always.
It goes so fast.
Comes back around.
We love it. But we also love our downtime. All right. How to spend some of your downtime, maybe, if you really, really need that football fix. And if you're watching the UFL, you are desperate for football. They came out today with a release of some rule changes that will be implemented for this season. Get a load of some of these. A 4-point field goal. Any successful field goal kick from 60 yards or further back will be worth 4 points. Okay? No punting inside the 50. So, punts are prohibited once the offense crosses the 50-yard line, except within the final 2 minutes of either half. So pretty much you're going to be going for it like 80% of the game. If you're inside the 50, you can't punt unless it's within the final 2 minutes of either half. What about this one? The tush push is illegal for the UFL. That quarterback sneak play where the quarterback was pushed forward by teammates has now been deemed illegal. I found this pretty interesting. Only need to get 1 foot inbounds now on a catch. Receivers only need to have 1 foot inbounds to complete a catch, adopting the NCAA rule. NFL, you got to have 2 feet inbounds. College, you only need 1. The UFL, you only need 1 foot inbounds to complete the catch. A couple of other changes. These are like the big ones. For kickoffs, the kickoff team now lines up at the 45-yard line, and the ball must land in a landing zone between the goal line and the 20-yard line, with new touchback spots at the 40 and 20-yard lines. Other changes, the standard coin toss is back for the start of games and in overtime. And a 1-point kick will be introduced after the touchdown. So you don't have to go for 2 every time you score. The standard coin toss is going to be back for the start of games and overtime. I did not even know that they didn't have a standard coin toss before the games. Now, again, how much UFL football have I watched? Probably about 2%. I love football. Love it. But I don't need it in spring. I just don't. But those are some of the wild and crazy rules for the United Football League that will be kicking off here in March. We actually We actually have a team now. It's the the Columbus Aviators. They're going to play at historic Crew Stadium right there off of I-270 down in Columbus. So I may pay a little attention to it, but I bet you by about week 4 or week 5 I won't even know what's going on. But if you're going to watch the UFL, get ready for the 4-point field goal. Holy smokes. By the way, 192 days until Mount Union and Wheaton. Purple suit is all over it. All right. What do you say we hand out another winner? That's becoming the norm around here on the show. Monday through Friday, we do this at 4:29. It's Sammy B's best bet. We gave you a good one last night. North Carolina, plus the 3.5 at home against Louisville. The Tar Heels won that baby outright. We're going to stay with the college basketball. I looked at the pro games tonight. Man, too many tanking teams are playing. There's a lot of goofy lines, a lot of movement. We stayed away from the NBA. They didn't get us. So we're going to go back to college basketball tonight. And we're going to go Big Ten because nothing screams Big Ten basketball more than Washington at Rutgers. Can you feel the passion of the Big Ten with teams in New York and the state of Washington? Oh, it doesn't get any better than that. But we have found a game we like. This will be at the RAC, the Rutgers Athletic Center. 6:30 tip. The Scarlet Knights are hosting the Washington Huskies. Washington is giving 4.5. You know me, man. I love home underdogs. Now, let me tell you this. Each team lost their last game. Washington, 3-7 in their last 10. Rutgers, 2-8 in their last 10. Last time these two teams played, 89-85. Rutgers, when they played out in Seattle. Long trip for those Huskies. Rec Center can be a tough place to play some nights. I'm booking that tonight will be one of those. Let's take the home team, the Scarlet Knights, at home from Rutgers, plus 4.5 against the visiting Washington Huskies. That's Sammy B's best bet. Rutgers, plus 4.5 against the University of Washington. Let's go back-to-back in the win column here with Sammy's best bet. News is next, 1310.
Here's the latest news on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 4:30. President Trump will address both chambers of Congress tonight in what will be his first State of the Union address since beginning his second term. Scheduled for 9 p.m., the speech will mark Trump's second address to Congress since reclaiming the White House. The address is mandated by the Constitution. Presidents have historically used the occasion to speak on the top issues of the day, their appraisal of the state of the country, plans for the future, and legislative requests. The address comes as the Department of Homeland Security remains shut down. Abroad, the Trump administration's tariffs, diplomacy, and military pressure are driving shifts on every continent. Trump expected to review his economic accomplishments, including falling inflation and the Dow Jones average surpassing 50,000 points. President issued a proclamation at the White House Monday establishing February 22nd as National Angel Family Day to honor Americans killed by illegal immigrants. The day was chosen in remembrance of Laken Riley, a 22-year-old nursing student murdered by Jose Ibarra, an illegal immigrant from Venezuela, as she was jogging on the campus of the University of Georgia in February 2024. The president highlighted policy failures allowing Ibarra to avoid deportation and be released after being arrested in August 2023 by New York City police officer Ethan Carreri. Carreri told those gathered at the White House he detained Ibarra for endangering the welfare of a child. CIA has retracted or substantially revised 19 intelligence reports after finding they contained political bias and fell short of CIA standards. Director John Ratcliffe said last week the reports fall short of the high standards of impartiality the CIA must uphold and do not reflect the expertise for which our analysts are renowned. The President's Intelligence Advisory Board identified the reports during a review of hundreds of CIA analyses produced in the past 10 years. President Trump named new members of the board in February 2025. Nick Reiner, 32-year-old son of Rob and Michelle Reiner, pleaded not guilty Monday to 2 counts of first-degree murder more than 2 months after their deaths. Deputy Public Defender Kimberly Green entered the plea on his behalf as he stood behind glass in an enclosed custody area of the packed Los Angeles courtroom. The third of Rob Reiner's 4 children, Nick Reiner has been held without bail since his arrest December 14th, hours after his parents were found dead at their home in the Brentwood section of Los Angeles. Reiner appeared in court with a shaved head. During the hearing, he spoke only to answer yes when the judge asked if he waived his right for next steps of the case to proceed speedily. Average rate on the popular 30-year fixed mortgage fell to 5.99% Monday, according to Mortgage News Daily, matching its lowest level since 2022. Last year at this time, the rate was 6.89%. The drop is due to a combination of factors, including new uncertainty over tariffs, cooling inflation, and a lackluster GDP report Friday. While rates briefly dipped into the 5% range for a few hours in January, they bounced back the same day. That is unlikely this time around, according to Matthew Graham, Chief Operating Officer at Mortgage News Daily. The drop will likely incite more refinancing, which has been surging over the last several weeks. Applications are about 130% higher than a year ago. 33 degrees at 4:33 for WDPN News. I'm Clint Marshall.
Now, the Alliance Area Weather Forecast from Mark Johnson on AM 1310 WDPN.
35 degrees for your Tuesday afternoon high. A little sunshine mixing with clouds, staying dry. Overnight, another Alberta clipper brings in scattered snow up to an inch by dawn. A lot of clouds, our low near 30. I am Mark J. Weather from 3 News.
Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. Pretty nice day today. Little chilly. At least we're getting a little sun. Things are going to warm up here next couple of days. And then might go back into the crapper over the weekend. We'll see. Phone lines open, 330-821-1310. You can text at 330-904-7088. We were talking about the UFL and some of the rule changes, like the 4-point field goal, no punting inside the 50. The tush push has been banned. You can actually kick extra points now after a touchdown.
Yeah, I was talking to Sam about that at the break because I didn't realize they couldn't do PATs last year.
Yeah, they really tried to, dong bobbler, best bet, over under 12 people watching a UFL game. I'll take the under. Ruth says, go Stallions. And Tom checking in, which I 150% agree on this. He says, yeah, the Columbus Aviators looking like the Alliance Aviators. He says they should send Alliance some cash for ripping off their uniform ideas and colors. Yeah, I agree. They stole, if you look at the Columbus Aviators uniforms, you look at Alliance, the helmets, the pants, the lettering, the trim. Come on, come up with your own ideas down there.
Yeah, I feel like the color palette, too, has to be almost exactly the same.
Like the one helmet that Alliance wears, the baby blue with the A, like the script A on it, the capital A, it looks exactly the same as what the Columbus is using.
Right, at least change the font a little bit.
I mean, usually it's the high schools that steal from the colleges or the pros. This time it's the UFL team, just stealing from Alliance High School, their uniform colors, and gee, many Christmas. Come on down there. I don't know. I guess, I don't know. I don't know why I worry about some of this stuff like this, but the UFL and let's see, what were some of USFL, you had the WFL, you had the XFL.
There it was. Yeah, I was like, what's the X one?
The UFL. Everybody feels the need to go with that baby blue. Like there was some kind of ridiculous trend. Every team, and we went through this back in the 90s, I think, in the NBA when you had like the Charlotte Hornets and everybody was like trying to put that color, that hue of blue into their uniforms. And it got to be like, come on, there has to be other colors out there to use. And it seems like they're trying to do this again now, shoving that color of blue down our throats again. I mean, don't these organizations and teams have departments for uniforms and like, I don't know. Don't they think this stuff through? Quit rolling out the same horrible look all the time. Change it up a little bit. And you know what? Sometimes you don't really have to change it. Sometimes the old school stuff works. You just got to maybe blend in some different philosophies within the uniform. I don't know. Again, I don't know why I worry about that kind of stuff, but it just drives me. Ooh, look at our new uniforms. Look. Yeah, they look like everybody else's.
Yeah, you have a budget. Spend some money. Hire some artists.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes certain color schemes just get run down your throat to the point where you don't want to see them again. It's like enough is enough. Enough is enough. Now, I understand they probably didn't want to go like Buckeye colors, like scarlet and gray. They probably didn't want to do that. Maybe that would have been a way to go. Maybe just a little different look of the scarlet and gray, and maybe intertwine like different shades, or maybe I don't know. But so they went with this, like the powder blue and the black and the red, and I don't know. I would tell you what, it looks very minor league-ish is what it looks like to me. And that's pretty much what the UFL is. So I guess they got what they wanted.
I think as an Alliance, as a person who graduated from Alliance, I would feel a little more honored about it if it wasn't the UFL. Be like, oh, that's cool. That football team in the NFL's thinks our color scheme's cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
But it's the UFL.
It's a little less cool then.
Speaking of blue, Dodger blue. Yeah. Dodgers lead the Guardians today 7-3. They're in the 6th inning. LA 7 runs, 8 hits, no errors. The Guards 3 runs, 3 hits, and 2 errors. Let's see what our guys are doing today. Nolan Jones, Ofer, Brito, Ofer, Manzardo, Ofer. Valera got a hit today. Travis Bazzana, 2 for 2 today with 3 RBI and a home run. Attaboy, Travis. But that's about it. The Dodgers, on the other hand, boy, this doesn't even look like this looks like a split squad for the Dodgers. Like, I don't recognize any of these names, but they're hitting the heck out of the ball. And Kyle Tucker, he's got a couple runs scored today. I know him. Will Smith, 1 for 3 with an RBI. Freddie Freeman, 1 for 2 with a couple ribs. Teoscar Hernandez, 2 for 2 today. But a lot of names I really don't really know from the Dodgers. But 7-3 LA over the Guards. Bottom of the 5th. Don't forget Cavs and Knicks tonight, 7:30 at Rocket Arena. Cleveland, a 4.5-point favorite. The total tonight is 232.5. All right, the Combine is underway in Indianapolis. Some of the media folks, some of the people participating in the Combine, a lot of the administrative couldn't get there because of that unbelievable snowstorm blizzard in the northeast part of the country. So people are kind of trickling in as they go. One guy that did make it was Cleveland Browns general manager Andrew Berry, and he stepped up to the podium today and talked to the media for a little bit about the quarterback room, about the draft, about the state of the Cleveland Browns. We thought we'd play some of that here for you. Andrew Berry, general manager of the Browns, live earlier today at the Combine in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Partner, I'm really excited about the group of coaches that he's put together that we're putting the finishing touches on. And, coming back down to glorious Indianapolis, where we get to have our first look, so to speak, of this upcoming draft class. We expect to be a productive week with, meeting a number of the young men and players that we're going to have interest in come April, as well as have good conversations with some of our own guys and impending free agents. So a lot of business to do. Feel really good about where we're headed. And with that, I'll open it up for questions. Chris, I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that youth equals, lack of performance. I think 2 of the 3 youngest teams this past year were Philadelphia and Green Bay. I think, we're a little bit unique in the NFL where it's not like, baseball where a team, a prospect has to be in the farm system for 7 years before they hit the big league level. There is certainly an adjustment period for young players. But we want to have high expectations for guys that, that come into our program to be role players, to ascend into starters. And I think we saw that this past year with this past draft class. What is your understanding of Tony? Joel's still working through that. And, at this point in his career and this point in his life, he deserves the time and space to do that, stay in regular communications, and we'll work through that at the appropriate time. Absolutely. You know what? Right now it's February 24th. Thank you. I appreciate it, Scott. So, we don't have to make that decision anytime soon. I think any player that we have in that room, we would expect to compete to earn a role. Those 2 would be no different.
You said you had ample room for agency. How aggressive do you expect to be, especially compared to?
No, great question. So, Scott, I would anticipate that there's at least the chance that we would be a little bit more aggressive more aggressive than last year. But it'll be targeted and opportunistic. I think, realistically, we may be one more offseason away from being like hyper aggressive in that window. But if there's something that fits us, fits our roster, fits our timeline, then it's certainly a swing we'll take.
Is that balancing what you said? Is that like balancing what you said a couple weeks ago that with where you are with the life cycle of the roster, you're not in a position to add 30-year-old free agents?
Yeah, it is, Ashley, because I think, we're still, building out this new core. I think also, roster spots, they're commodities. And I think one of the things that we want to continue to lean into that we did last year is having roster spots open for young players to contribute and grow and play, as opposed to necessarily maybe blocking them for, a short-term solution, based on where our team is currently.
Tony talked about fitting his scheme to talent with an offensive line in flux. How does that affect you in the front office? You have power players, movement players, those kind of things. How does that work for you?
Well, I'd say I think you could look, you could look no further than Baltimore. Like if you go, from, left to right on their O-line, you had Ronnie Stanley. Obviously, he had been one of the better left tackles in the game. At left guard, you had a combination between Andrew Voorhees, who was more of a strength-related player, and Emory Jones, who was a rookie. Tyler Lindenbaum, who was an athletic-style center. Daniel Falele, who was, like human orca big, really big power player, that type of thing. And then Roger Rosengarten, who was, more of your athletic-style player. So, I don't think that there's necessarily like just a universal commonality, but they have to have enough of everything to be scheme versatile. I think you've heard me say over the years that the draft, it's really for like highest sustainable impact. And that's not to say that need or positional value doesn't have some role in that. But at the same time, it's not like you're just going to match your picks to the best of whatever. I mean, I think about a year ago at this time, I wouldn't have guessed that the draft would have played out positionally the way that it did in 2025. And you have to be flexible. You have to be adaptable in terms of where the player pool and where the talent pool is. I think the good thing about this coaching staff, really in all three phases, is they are very adaptable to using your best player. So you have to be open to the fact that it may not look exactly the way that, you'd envision it or that you'd hope that it would look, coming out of it. Yeah, I'd say this, Mary Kay. So I think number one, probably a better question for Todd, tomorrow when he hits the podium. I think the biggest thing that we want to see from Shedeur is just continued growth. I think he grew a lot from start 1 to start 7. I think certainly, playing more efficiently, not putting the ball in harm's way as much, would be important. While maintaining the ability to produce out of structure and generate explosive plays. You're not going to see all that in the upcoming months because we're not on the field. So the biggest thing that he can do is learn the new offense, get in with the coaching staff once our offseason program starts, continue to work on his body physically and then make strides when we actually get on the grass. Let me go here and then I'll go to you. Okay. I don't think there's a fixed number there. If they're the right ones. If you're telling me I get Tristan Wirfs, Penny Sewell, and Tyler Windeball, yeah, sure, I'll take it. Yeah, those guys as rookies, yeah, you can sign me up. I don't see a problem with that. Yeah, I think, Grant is, I mentioned after our search process, I think the coaching community in general, the NFL coaching community in general is in really good shape. I think there are a number of young and maybe not well-known coaches that are going to be really, really, really successful, when they get their opportunities. Grant was super smart, very detailed. He had come up under really good mentors, very adaptable. He's obviously done a nice job in Jacksonville, and I'd imagine he'll continue to do so. It's the most important position. We wouldn't talk about it any differently if we were drafting an O lineman or a D lineman or something along those lines. I don't think that you can invest in it enough.
Given that, is there any hesitation that you took 2 last year and adding another one this year to 3, 2 years or under guys in a couple years?
I wouldn't put any restraint on it.
How's the Juwan Jones progressing from his injury, and do you expect him to be a big factor while you rebuild this offensive line?
Yeah, he's progressing well. He's been in there every day. He's done a really nice job, with his rehab. He's right on track, and I would expect him to factor in.
What about Whippler?
Oh, ditto there. Yeah.
Did he have surgery?
Tony, I don't want to misspeak on that. I can't remember at this current moment, but he'll be ready to go. All right, let me go Ashley, then I'll go Jory. Then I'll go Jory. Okay.
David and Joe posted a goodbye on Instagram. I guess what do you think about the future of those tight ends and with Harold in his rookie year? How much is that factor with his future decisions for that?
It would be disingenuous to say it doesn't factor in. We're very pleased with Harold, and we do view him as the future of that position. What he did as a rookie player, as a 21-year-old was incredible. And I think one of the most difficult things to do as an organization, and certainly as a general manager, is when you realize there's a possibility that a professional relationship has run its course with a long tenured player who has done a lot for the organization, and you develop a personal relationship with. If David's not back, he'll be a Brown for life, and I'm sure that whenever he does hang him up, he'll be a dog pound captain at the beginning of the games, and I'm sure he'll smash the guitar with the shirt off. So we're excited to bring him back.
All right, there it is. Andrew Berry, general manager of the Cleveland Browns, speaking to the media throng today at the Combine in Indianapolis, Indiana. Of course, that last question there, they were talking about the tight ends position and the fact that David Njoku no longer a member of the Cleveland Browns. Now it's really time for Harold Fannin Jr. to step up and do his thing. He had a fantastic year last year, and I think nothing but huge things ahead for Harold Fannin Jr. with a Cleveland Browns uniform. Let's step out. We'll take a break. We're coming up on 4:53 here, AM 1310 WDPN. Phone lines are open if you want to pop in, 330-821-1310. Don't forget you can watch, listen, comment, share all of our activities on social media, all of our platforms, 1310 WDPN on Facebook, on X and Twitter, and of course the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. While you're on the YouTube channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. That would be awesome. We'll step out and come back with more of the Sam Bourquin Show right after this.
Dad's gonna be far side. Good.
What should I do with my dress? Do the wiggles.
Slate's coming in. What does it feel like when you're down or having a bad day?
It feels sad, like you just don't want to do anything.
All my little emotions in my head is just running crazy. I don't know what to do.
As a teacher or coach, do you ever feel overwhelmed supporting kids' mental health?
I had never experienced players being so down that they can't even participate.
He's just in tears in the huddle. I didn't know what to do.
Teachers need tons of help.
Kids Mental Health Foundation offers educational materials to help guide conversations with our students.
It's so important that we are constantly educating ourselves.
It's the same as the CPR class to me. We're trying to save a life here.
The Kids Mental Health Foundation has free tools and information developed by experts because kids' mental health starts with all of us. Scan the QR code or check out kidsmentalhealthfoundation.org to get started.
Imagine home. The smell of coffee, the sound of a lawnmower, the sun's warmth on your face. Free to be yourself, surrounded by love that helps you grow. This is a place to call home. That's an American dream we all deserve. But in 50% of U.S. states, you could legally be denied housing if you are LGBTQ+. Get the facts and hear real stories at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
Nathan has taught me to embrace the moment. Age-wise, I'm in my late 60s. I'm old enough to be his grandfather. Will he be embarrassed to acknowledge me as his dad? I think the most important thing we can do is let them know that they're safe, that they're valued and cared for and loved, and that they're important.
I knew I wanted to be adopted by him because of how he taught me to be the person who I am today. And it's coming from a dad that didn't expect to become a dad. And I feel very proud to be his son.
That was what he needed, and he was what I needed. Every day is full of new opportunities. That's what it's been about, realizing the simple things that it takes to make such a huge difference in these kids' lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by Adopt U.S. Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
A couple of minutes before we get you to the top of the hour with the news and weather. Sam Bourquin Show poll question today on our social media platforms. You can weigh in. If you could start your very own podcast tomorrow, what would it be about? If you could have your own podcast, just you and the microphone, or you and a co-host, or whatever, what would you talk about if you had your own podcast? What would it be about? George checking in says, Sam, health issues support, getting through the tough times. Nina says, anything and everything, whatever is on my mind. Sometimes those are the best ones. Mike checking in, comedy and humor. It touches all aspects of life. Mike Conley, hope you are doing well and still making them laugh. What would your podcast be about? Let us know. Rainsburg, what would you do? Let me guess. Gaming.
I have to think about this.
Movies.
It would probably be movies and TV, and it would probably just be a podcast entirely about South Park, because I know everything there is to know about that show from start to finish.
There you go.
So, talk about what you're knowledgeable about.
I tell you what I have found out over the last, I don't know. I mean, when did, if you had to guess, what year or when did podcasting start to take off, if you had to guess? Because I don't really have like a set year.
I would say the precursor to podcasting would be blogging. That probably died out in early 2000s, 2005 to 2007.
Mm-hmm.
And then podcasting probably picked up around 2008, 2009. That's when people really started buying their own microphones and having their little Yeti snowballs and doing stuff.
Yeah.
I would say maybe 2010 at the latest, but probably 07, 08.
So in the vicinity of around 15 years.
Something like that.
That podcasting, because I remember blogging. Oh my God. It was part of my daily to-do list years and years ago, a couple of stations ago. And I thought it was dumb then, and I think it's dumb now. Blogging. I just didn't understand it.
I think at this point, podcasting and blogging and all of that has kind of expanded its horizons to be pretty much just like basic television. You can find a podcast that's basically just reality TV.
Yeah.
And you can find a podcast that's History Channel and be very, informative and intelligent.
Yeah.
So
now see, here's another thing. And I don't know if I'm out of line saying this because I'm in the business, but like podcasting, like, unless you are Joe Rogan or you are, who's got some of the big, awesome, unbelievably popular podcasts? Like,
man,
I mean, there you go.
Because everybody has a podcast, so it doesn't matter.
Everybody has one.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I know they're very popular, but I will also tell you this: unless you are in the top percentile of the podcasters across the world, across the country, if you're just like Joe Podcaster, it is the world's most expensive hobby. Most people don't make a nickel off of a podcast. A nickel. Actually, I know people that do them, they lose money because they got to pay for production. They got to go get their equipment. They got to pay for this and that. They lose money. So at that point, I'm really wondering, why are you still doing it? I've never really understood why you would do that, and it sets you back financially. Unless you are that, like, you have to let people know what's on your mind. Again, I don't know if that's being out of line, but I think it's kind of being reality.
I think that the beauty of it today is you can really produce a really high quality audio podcast and not really spend that much money.
Mm-hmm. But can you? But can you make money off of it? Is it profitable?
That all depends on you.
That's where but if you can't, like, people aren't just gonna, like, you got to go out there and you gotta work the streets. You gotta sell. And especially for those that are just starting out, I mean, you don't have any numbers to take to anybody. They can say, "Oh, look, how many thousands of people viewed, or how many listened, or how many interacted." You don't have that when you just start.
Yep.
That's like I said, it's a very expensive hobby. Now, if you get going and you catch a break and you get lucky and you get out on Apple and iTunes and all the big platforms, that's good. But I don't know. I guess there's just a lot of people out there that think that we need to know what they're thinking about or what they want to talk about. And that's fine. You do you. But I don't know. I don't think I will do one.
I think it's just the ultimate consequence of things like Facebook and X. People want to constantly talk about themselves all day.
Yeah.
Sometimes posting text isn't enough. You got to talk to a camera.
See, that I just don't understand.
Nope, me neither.
I don't understand that. And I would say that if I was 30 years old, not 55. That I just don't get.
I'm 30 years old and I'm saying it.
Okay.
All right.
Attaboy. All right. Let's
There we go.
Oh, my God. Are we late?
We're a little bit.
Holy smokes.
We're pushing it.
News and weather is next. Stay with us. 1310 WDPN.
News, weather, sports, local information, and music 24 hours a day. This is AM 1310 WDPN Alliance.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Domestic and foreign policy will be front and center tonight as President Trump prepares for the State of the Union address. It comes as he weighs possible military strikes against Iran if a nuclear deal cannot be reached, and the president is also facing backlash over tariffs and immigration operations here at home. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the economy is high on his agenda.
The president will lay out the case for why he and Republicans are better suited to continue tackling the affordability crisis that was created by the Biden administration and Democrats on Capitol Hill.
A new ABC News Washington Post Ipsos poll shows 60% of Americans disapprove of the president's job in office, an all-time low since he was reelected. Ukraine marking 4 years since the Russian invasion. President Zelensky bought flowers today and placed them at a makeshift memorial in central Kyiv. He called on European leaders to push for Russia to end its aggression. This is ABC News.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Now, the latest Alliance area news from Clint Marshall on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 5:02. Multiple rail crossings between Alliance and Sebring were closed after a train derailed this morning around 8 a.m. A main beam on a hopper car broke, separating from Norfolk Southern train, spilling sodium bicarbonate near Walnut Avenue and Keystone Street. Safety Service Director Mike Drager said crews expected the crossings to remain closed for about 8 hours. The scene is cleared. No injuries were reported. Second suspect is in custody in a Canton shooting. 44-year-old Larry Grimes was arrested Monday. He's scheduled for arraignment tomorrow in Canton Municipal Court. He's charged with complicity to felonious assault. Grimes allegedly traveled with 41-year-old Dion Davis of Jackson Township to the Hall of Fame Fuel Mart on Sherrick Road Southeast, February 17th. Davis accused of shooting at a vehicle after a dispute. Police say the incident targeted a vehicle with a child inside. Davis was arrested the same day. He remains jailed on $500,000 bond. Federal judges postponed the trial of Eric Nishimiye, 53-year-old Lake Township man charged with lying to U.S. immigration officials about his role in the 1994 Rwandan genocide. Prosecutors say witnesses will testify they saw the former Goodyear engineer at 7 killings and roadblocks. Nishimiye's defense team says he had no involvement, and they recently reported being detained and threatened in Rwanda. The trial was originally set for March 16th in Boston. Canton utility customers will see their monthly bills rise starting March 29th with an average increase of $6.36 per month, or about $76 annually. The hike includes a 15% increase for sewer, 13.5% for water, and 2.7% for sanitation. Out-of-city customers will continue to pay a 150% surcharge. According to the repository, Service Director John Hyman says the increases are needed to fund infrastructure improvements and cover rising operating costs. Former Starr County Educational Service Center attorney Mary Jo Shannon Slick is suing the ESC, claiming she was wrongfully fired. Slick served as general counsel for more than 28 years before her position was eliminated and her contract terminated by the board October 16th. Starr County judge recently ordered Slick to submit her work computers for forensic imaging. The order comes after the ESC alleged she improperly removed and shredded documents and stored electronic files locally without returning them. Former Alliance Law Director Caitlin Weyer has joined the Summit County Prosecutor's Office as an assistant prosecutor in the criminal division. Weyer was appointed Alliance Law Director in 2021 and stepped down in 2024, withdrawing from a primary bid for Common Pleas Court judge after omitting her former surname on election papers. She was reappointed by Mayor Andy Grove, but dropped a re-election bid in 2025. Breeze Airways expanding flights from Akron-Canton Airport this summer. The airline will offer seasonal nonstop service to Portland, Maine starting July 2nd, and daily flights to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina beginning July 1st. Officials at CAK say the new routes give travelers easy access to coastal getaways and festivals. New write-in candidate has entered Ohio's 6th Congressional District Democratic primary. Christopher LaFont of Bethesda will join 6 other Democrats challenging incumbent Michael Ruley, while Republican Julie Kelly also seeks the seat. In the 29th Ohio Senate District, Libertarian Zach Moore of Minerva filed as a write-in, joining Democrat Thomas West and incumbent Republican Jane Timken. The filing deadline for write-in candidates in Stark County was Monday. Man headed to prison for a shooting in downtown Kent. 19-year-old Jack Massey of Akron was sentenced Monday by Portage County Judge Becky Doherty to 4.5 years behind bars. Massey pleaded guilty last month to having weapons under disability, inducing panic, and aggravated menacing. The charges stem from an October 30th incident at Bar Lucci, where Massey fired a handgun into the crowd while on parole for a 2023 felonious assault conviction. No one was seriously hurt. Wellsville police arrested Alan Jakes Wednesday during a search of a Main Street residence. Officers found suspected crack cocaine, methamphetamine, and over $600 in cash. Jakes was taken into custody for a felony probation violation. All evidence was turned over to the Columbiana County Drug Task Force. A Canfield nursing home facing a lawsuit after a former resident died from infected pressure wounds. Judy Marsh was admitted to Windsor House in December 2024 for rehabilitation after pneumonia and died in April 2025. The lawsuit claims staff failed to reposition her and left her in soiled linens, leading to severe infections. Windsor House denies any negligence. Ursuline High School and the Catholic Diocese of Youngstown are seeking summary judgment in a federal lawsuit involving a female student alleging sexual harassment and assault by a football player. The school and diocese say the incidents were not actionable under Title IX and any disciplinary action was appropriate. Judge Benita Pearson will review the motions as the case moves forward. 33 degrees at 5:07. This is the local edition of WDPN News. I'm Clint Marshall.
This weather is brought to you by Grove Appliance Furniture and Mattress. Local, trusted, and family-owned for 90 years. With a huge selection of appliances, furniture, and mattresses to go with unmatched customer service. For the afternoon, we'll get a little sunshine mixing with clouds, staying dry and cold through the day, a high of 35 degrees. Overnight tonight, more scattered snow arriving. After midnight, cloudy skies, our low near 30. I am Mark J. Weather from 3 News.
Rediscover the comfort of home with Grove Appliance Furniture and Mattress, your hometown spot for comfort, quality, and style. From sleek new appliances that make life easier to furniture that actually fits the way you live, Grove helps you create a space that feels like home. And with hundreds of fabric options, you can make it completely your own. Don't forget about their design center. If you're looking for a complete overhaul, they can help you with all of it, from cabinets and countertops to backsplashes and sleek appliances. Your local team takes time to find out exactly what you need. No pressure, no guessing, just honest advice and real service. And if you're upgrading on a budget, check out Grove's Scratch and Dent Room, where small imperfections mean big savings on top brands. Because when your home feels right, everything else just works. Grove Appliance Furniture and Mattress. Hometown comfort. Made simple.
Come see us at Grove, where it always feels like home.
Live from the AM1310 WDPN studio, it's time for live and local sports talk. It's the Sam Bourquin Show.
I'm ready.
Give the show a call at 330-821-1310.
Good call, meatball!
Watch the Sam Bourquin Show on the AM1310 Facebook page, the Q92 YouTube page, and on X. This is the Sam Bourquin Show on AM1310 WDPN.
slam. Inside and outside. Peterson buries the three. He also locks it. And Tiller throws it down.
No, you do not. Durant to Şengün. Oh!
Here we go. It is hour 3 of the Sam Bourquin Show, AM 1310 WDPN. Welcome back, everybody. Phone lines are open for you at 330-821-1310. Text line open 330-924-7088. You can also leave your comments on the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. In our chat, we got a lot of good chatting coming on today. We appreciate everybody getting involved on the YouTube channel each and every afternoon. Coming up at 5:29 today, one of our stalwart segments, I should say, on this day in sports history. That's coming up here at 5:29. If you missed Sammy B's best bet, shame on you. But if you did, tonight we're giving out Rutgers plus 4.5 against Washington in men's college basketball. Let's see what the Guards are up to. We're playing the Dodgers this afternoon. A lot of runs today out in Arizona. Top of the 7th inning, the Dodgers 11 and the Guardians 3. Full slate of baseball today. Pirates and Red Sox combined for 23 runs today. Orioles and Twins combined for 15 runs. Yankees and Blue Jays, 15 runs. Mets and Astros were 6-6 in the 9th, and he said, that's good enough. So they ended that baby in a tie. Now, there was a game this afternoon. Now, Rainsburg's got the audio, and you probably got the video too. I'm trying to remember because there's so many split squad games going on today, but I think it might have been the Pirates and the Red Sox today that we're bringing this audio to you from, because it was kind of a historical situation today for MLB. This afternoon, now let's just go with the Red Sox and the Pirates.
That looks to be correct.
That looks like that's who that is.
Yes. Pittsburgh and Boston.
Yeah. So Pirates and Red Sox, 16-7. So I told you a lot of runs scored today. So the game was going on today at JetBlue Park down in Fort Myers, Florida. And today was a significant play, or call, should I say. The ABS system was tested for the first time, like used in a game today. And this is where if there's a ball strike call and somebody doesn't like it, there's a quick challenge. They go to the video, and within 3 seconds, they either keep the call or they overturn it. So this was early in the game with the Pirates and the Red Sox today. And I'll have Rainsburg play that cut earlier today from Fort Myers, Florida. And we'll see what you think about this and how it sounds and how we're gonna move forward with this now as a part of MLB.
The veteran move. We'll have a review here. Our first ABS challenge of the day.
Call the field as a ball. The catcher is challenging.
There it is. Catcher challenging the ball call. The ABS review powered by T-Mobile. We will take a look, and it is a strike. So the catcher was right, and that one kind of right down the middle.
So there you go. That was it. How long did that take? Not long.
The entire clip is 27 seconds.
Yeah, and the act of the making the call was probably about 7 seconds. Of course, they had enough time to slip a sponsor in there, you noticed, because we can't do anything without that at the MLB level, God forbid. But what did you think about that? Now, imagine yourself watching on TV or listening to the radio, so you had to listen to that audio cut. Now, this was from a televised game That was not the radio crew. That was the TV crew. But you're watching the game, and you're at home going, whoa, that should have been a strike. Couldn't do anything about it back in the day. Now there's a quick little challenge, and they pull it up within seconds, and they see where the ball crosses the plate or doesn't, and boom, it's changed. Just like that. Umpire called that a ball. They said, no. Quick look, strike, and we move on. No arguing, no managers coming out of the dugout, no batters having 3 or 4 minute conversations with the umpire. None of that. It did, I'm an old school guy. If you're familiar with me, I'm old school. I'm always open to new, but I'm pretty old school. That was a little weird within the midst of the game itself. But if it's going to go that quickly, I guess I'm okay with it. And, of course, at the end of the day, what's most important? Getting the call right. Now, I go out of my mind during reviews on football games and basketball games and challenges and stoppages in the action. I literally go out of my mind. I hate it. I literally hate it to the point where I don't even care if they get the call right anymore. I'm so sick of it. But if you can do this in baseball and it takes 3 seconds, I'm okay.
Do you know how it works?
There is some kind of a computer. It's called the ABS, automatic ball strikes system.
Yeah.
And I guess I don't know how this whole thing works. I'm guessing there is a sensor or something built into the home plate where it can tell where the ball crosses it. If it's too far to the left, to the right, too high, too low. And just in that instant, the that sensor knows if it was a ball or a strike.
I'm so fascinated. I wonder if it's LiDAR.
And it just makes the call. Boom. And we move on. The pitcher goes in for the sign, throws the next pitch, and we're off and going. But it was just, to me, it was a little different, a little weird. If I'd have been watching the game or listening to it live, because I found this clip, it was probably about 25 minutes after it happened. I found it on X. I said, well, this might be interesting to put on the show. But just to listen to, I'm gonna have you re-rack that, and I'm gonna have you play it again. I want everybody to listen to, just kind of put yourself in the moment, whether you're watching on TV or maybe listening on a radio. Say you got the Guards game on or one of your favorite teams, and you see or you hear the play-by-play guy say, "Oh, he missed that one." Kind of think about that as we play this clip for you from this game earlier today, this pitch earlier today between the Pirates and the Red Sox.
The veteran move. Well, we'll have a review here. Our first ABS challenge of the day.
Call the field as a ball. The catcher is challenging.
There it is, catcher challenging the ball call. The ABS review powered by T-Mobile. We will take a look, and it is a strike. So the catcher was right, and that one kind of right down the middle.
And there he is. Catcher said, nope, that's a strike bump. Challenged it, and there you go. How y'all feel about that? 330-821-1310 or get your comments in on the Q92 Radio YouTube channel.
I'm fascinated by it. I'm going to look up how it works, and I'll tell you if I hate it or not.
Yeah, and see if you can. See what you can find out what the actual ABS stands for. But I think it's automatic.
No, that I do know because it's automated ball strike.
Automated ball strike, yeah. So if you can challenge it, if you're a catcher, obviously if you think it's a strike, you challenge it. And if you're a hitter and say the umpire calls a strike, you can say, no, I think that's a ball. And they can challenge it. But if you can do that quickly, then I'm okay. I'm okay with it. That was about a 15, 18-second stoppage. There was no hemming and hawing. And officials running to the scores table saying, ooh, look at me. I'm doing a review. Look at me. There's none of that. or the referee or the official on the football field prancing over to the camera on the sideline to watch the review and slapping his headset on, getting some camera time. We don't have to deal with any of that.
Let's see.
Baseball got it right. Kudos.
It looks like this, it just says very generally that it's powered by Hawkeye camera tracking and T-Mobile's 5G network. The system determines if a pitch passed through the defined strike zone.
No wonder it's powered by T-Mobile during the broadcast.
It better not be powered by AI or I'm going to have words.
Powered by AWP Safety. How you like that?
There you go.
So that's how it works. But you look, if it goes that quickly, then I'm good. Regular season, playoffs, I'm okay with it. I want to see what it's going to be like in live time. Like if I find a game on TV, I'm just watching, and all of a sudden there's a quick challenge. I'm going to say, okay, how long did it take? What were the particulars of it? And how fast did we get back to action? And, of course, the most important thing, did they end up getting that call right? That's pretty cool. I will say kudos to the MLB, and, well, I don't say this very often. Kudos to the commissioner, Rob Manfred. I think they got that right. That's good. That's real good. All right.
And this whole Hawkeye camera thing's really cool.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Where is it located?
So it sounds like I'm just starting to read this. There's more to it, but it sounds like the Hawkeye camera system is a set of multiple cameras shot from different angles at high viewpoints. And then an algorithm stitches all that video together to determine whether the ball passed through where it actually passed through or not.
Wow. So that's a little bit more involved than I thought.
It's cool. It's not as cool as I thought it was going to be, but it's still really cool.
Very nice. Well,
Thank
I
you,
can't
Sony.
Can't wait to see that happen during a Guards game. Like, I want to hear Hammy.
Oh.
I want to hear Hammy call that. I think that would be pretty cool.
We also have Ryan B in the studio.
Ryan B. Do we got time for, what time is it? 5:20.
It is 25.
You know what? We'll go, and if we run over, we'll kick on this day on the other side. That's how important our listeners are to this program. Mr. Brayler, how you doing this afternoon? Welcome in 1310 WDPN. What's up?
Thank you so much, Sammy. I was going to wait until tomorrow to call in and talk basketball, but the ball strike system piqued my interest. I've been advocating now for a couple years for them to go entirely robotic on balls and strikes. I think it's the hardest thing for an official in any sports to call. I mean, dude, even on TV, we look at those breaking balls and we're like, oh my gosh, dude, how can they even tell on that? So I would like to see, like, literally we'd be at the game and the pitch would go across the plate and you would hear just a computer voice go either ball or strike, like something along those lines. I know it sounds corny, but that's what I've been wanting to see out of baseball for quite a while.
Yeah, and usually, Ryan, baseball is the latest to come to the party as far as implementing new things or trying to go out of the box. And I got to tip my cap, because and it's a big if it works this way all the time or the majority of the time, then I'm here for it. I'm okay with it.
Same. And I want to say one other thing about another sport before I get to basketball too. So, I heard you talk about Harold Fannin a little bit earlier. Yep. I think one of the good things for him too is with Coach Monken. Because if you look at what the Ravens did under him, Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely were huge in that offense. And man, I mean, coming in, Monken has to be looking and be like, dude, I have one weapon on offense if Judkins isn't healthy next year. Because I mean, and again, he's going to want to win. This is a guy who's in the advanced stages. He ain't going to get another shot at coaching. So he's going to utilize Harold very heavily, I would assume.
Yeah, I would think so, because that's their bread and butter. I mean, you talked about Andrews and Likely, and I even go back to like when Todd Heap was with the Ravens and some other tight ends along the way. That's very integral part of their offense. And man, the way Harold could just go grab it and run and block and do whatever. I mean, yeah, I certainly would make him. I mean, you're not going to make the focal point your tight end, but You know, we got limited resources, if you know what I'm saying. So I may want to throw the ball to 88 a lot more than maybe some other teams would.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he was featured like a Gronkowski was in the Patriots offense. Now, we're not going to have the success that they did, but I mean, you know, again, looking at where we're at today, I mean, Fannon's our number one option on offense, and that's not a homer take by any means.
No, but it's true. Look at the running backs, the receivers, and the other tight ends in the room. It's true.
Yeah.
Our go-to guy.
So though, I got to shift and talk a little bit about high school basketball. And I guess today, I might call in again later this week, but today I want to look at the anatomy of a Cinderella. And I want to look back at Perry's run last year.
You know what? I got to tell you. I got to tell you. I was driving in today, and I wanted to get a couple coaches on this week that we haven't talked to in a while. And Coach Vol is the first name that popped into my head. I wasn't able to get a hold of him today, but I'm not saying they're going to do what they did last year. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm telling you right now, they are 100% healthy. The kids they've got back from last year can draw on that experience. Coach will make them draw on that experience. I think they could be a tough out. I really believe that.
No doubt, Sammy. But again, I want to go back to last year and what they did in the draw. So they were in a draw with where they knew they would play Warren Harding in the semifinals in Akron. And now their district was not an overwhelmingly tough district. If you go back and look at it, I remember in their first game, they beat Steele. And then the second game, which I want to talk about a little bit of the anatomy of a Cinderella, they played Solon somewhere up north. And you know, the story was so close to being, you know, what a great season for Perry. But, you know, Luke Wolf was fouled on a three-pointer with 0.4 seconds left and went to the line with ice in his veins and knocked him down.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing that, you know, to have a special run when you're an underdog, that has to happen. We see it in the NCAAs all the time, and we see it in high school all the time. Like that little moment there, it was so close to being like, man, Perry fought hard in these two district games to, wow, that really propelled them to be able to beat Warren Harding, who, in my opinion, was probably better than North Royalton, who Perry beat at the field house.
I'd give you that.
And I thought Massillon was better than both of those teams as well last year. Again, they hit the upset bug against Shaker Heights. But, you know, my big point today that I want to make is that when you see those underdogs, when they're able to pull off a game like that against an evenly matched opponent, of how much juice that gives a team like that.
Yep. And it just spreads. And before you know it, man, you're knocking on the door for a regional title in your backyard. And yeah, it's, you know, a lot of people forget. Sometimes I forget, you know, everybody remembers Luke Wolf, that desperation three at the buzzer at the jar against Warren. A lot of people forget about the 3 free throws he had to make being fouled on the 3-pointer earlier in the tournament. If there's not that, we don't get the other. So yeah.
Oh yeah. And none of us were following Perry when he hit when they won the district. None of us were. They were still off of our radar. We were all bummed out that Massillon and Hoover had lost, and we were kind of putting our chips in on Louisville and McKinley at the time.
Yep,
and
that's right.
We knew McKinley was going to run into Ignatius, so we knew they had a tough hill to climb last year.
Well, it's we're getting ready to roll again here. The tournament, the brackets are out, the seeds are out, the matchups are out, and I can't wait. And who knows? Maybe there's somebody out there wearing a glass slipper that we're not even talking about right now. That's what makes it so fun.
I love it so much. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call in. I know you're up against it. It's around 5:30 right now. I'm going to call in again later this week and talk a little more, but thanks for having me on to talk about that balls and strikes thing. I had to get in on that.
Yeah, appreciate you. There you go. Ryan checking in on the link here on the AM1310 WDPN on the stream. We'll take a break. He is correct. We are at 5:32 here on 1310 WDPN. News and weather next. Stay with us.
Now, the latest area news on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 5:30. The White House says President Trump will use his State of the Union address to argue he and Republicans in control of Congress are best suited to tackle the public's concerns about the cost of living. Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt also says the speech will be a celebration of 250 years of America's independence. The president expected to use the annual address to a joint session of Congress to proclaim the economy is booming while endorsing increased military spending and tighter voter ID rules leading up to November elections. Several Democrats in Congress plan to skip Trump's speech. Millions across the Northeast United States contended with treks to school and work as they dug out from a snowstorm that blanketed the region. Canceled flights, disrupted transit, and downed power lines. Snow moved north Tuesday, giving way to sunshine in parts of the region. Another storm originating in the Great Lakes is round the corner. In New York City, Mayor Zoran Mandani declared more than 1 million students in the nation's largest public school system had a regular day. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky says Russia has not broken Ukrainians nor triumphed in its war. He spoke 4 years after an invasion that has tested the resolve of Kyiv and its allies and fueled European fears about the scale of Moscow's ambitions. More than a dozen senior European officials headed to the Ukrainian capital to mark the anniversary. Conflict has killed thousands of people, upended life for millions of Ukrainians, and created instability beyond its borders. Zelensky said his countries withstood the onslaught by Russia's bigger and better equipped army, and said Vladimir Putin has not achieved its goals. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy announced Friday commercial driver's license tests will be given only in English. Duffy said the Biden administration did not, quote, enforce English proficiency rules, and some states issued driver's licenses illegally. Duffy also said former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg decided there should not be any rigorous requirements to certify a school as well qualified to train drivers. The Department of Transportation previously ended a loophole that allowed migrants to obtain a CDL. New regulation prevents foreign drivers who have not been subject to consular and interagency screening from getting their CDLs. The government of Mexico confirmed 25 National Guardsmen, 1 prison guard, and a civilian woman died in a series of attacks as a direct response to the killing of Ruben El Mencho Cervantes, leader of the cartel Jalisco New Generation. Terrorist leader died Sunday after a raid by Special Forces soldiers. During the raid, cartel gunmen deployed Russian RPGs and used high-powered weapons in an attempt to prevent the capture of their leader. Soon after, CJNG forces began carrying out terror-style attacks in at least 18 states throughout Mexico. A Crime Prevention Research Center report shows transgender individuals commit disproportionate shares of mass public and active shooting attacks. CPRC studied data from 2018 to 2024, finding attacks by transgender shooters were at least 12 times their share of the population in 2024. They observed, using only the FBI data over the entire 6-year period, transgender individuals commit active shooting attacks at about 3 times their share of the population. 32 degrees at 5:33 for WDPN News. I'm Clint Marshall.
Here's Mark Johnson's forecast on AM 1310 WDPN.
For the afternoon, we'll get a little sunshine mixing with clouds, staying dry and cold through the day, a high of 35 degrees. Overnight tonight, more scattered snow arriving after midnight. Cloudy skies, our low near 30. I am Mark J. Weather from 3 News.
Late than never. We got up against it there at the bottom. So we just decided to move on this day in sports history to after the break at 5:30. So we're kind of back on schedule. On this day in 1937, Lou Gehrig did a screen test for the role of Tarzan. Johnny Weissmuller eventually got the part. I had no idea about that. On this day in 1980, we'll get back into that in a couple of minutes. 1987, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar of the Los Angeles Lakers got his first three-point shot in the NBA. Big fella out there behind the three-point line. On this day in 1993, Stevie Yzerman of the Detroit Red Wings scored his 1,000th career point. You got to go back to 1932. Malcolm Campbell, this is unbelievable, set a Daytona speed record when he went 254 miles an hour. That is moving. And on this day in 1980, Lake Placid, New York, the United States hockey team defeated Finland to win the gold.
The crowd going insane at the moment. Bedlam in here, stomping. 5 seconds to the gold medal, 4 to the gold medal. This impossible dream comes true.
And the United States wins the gold over Finland a couple of days after they had beaten the Soviet Union, the Miracle on Ice. Al Michaels on both of those calls. And hey, just a couple of days ago, we got the gold again for the first time in 46 years. Rainsburg, you know what I almost did there?
Oh, yeah, what?
I almost went to break.
I'm used
to 5:30 break. I'm used to going to break at 5:30, and I was like, whoa. We need to reverse here. So yeah, 1980 and then 2026. Crazy. Soviet Union and Finland back to back for the gold medal. Really cool stuff. Our U.S. hockey team at the White House today. Pretty cool stuff there. I've seen a lot of really cool photos and videos online if you want to check that out. Knicks Cavs tonight, 7:30. Cavs about a 4.5-point favorite. I'm going to try to catch end of the third, all of the fourth. By the time I get home, I'm going to check that out. I want to see what kind of physicality we're playing with tonight against the New York Knicks, a team that has really kind of been a thorn in our side. Now, I remember a couple of years ago, we kind of handled them in the regular season, and then they kicked our butt in the playoffs. And it's happened a couple of times. Then the Pacers got physical with us, right? Knocked us out. Cavs are going to be at home. That should help. But I want to see what the Cavaliers bring tonight against the Knicks. Brunson, Towns, Anunoby, Hart, Bridges, Clarkson.
I remember Towns from last time.
Ugh.
Animal.
Cat. Karl Anthony Towns.
I knew it was something Anthony Towns.
Just, Jalen Brunson comes in averaging about 27 a game. Donovan Mitchell leads the Cavs at 28.6. But I want to see what Evan Mobley does tonight. I want to see what Jared Allen does tonight. I want to see how they react. They're going to get pushed around. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be angry if our guys get pushed around tonight. I am. Now, again, I'm not going to be able to catch it till probably the fourth quarter. So I better not hear our guys being out physicaled, out hustled, out aggressive. I don't want to hear that tonight. Again, this is not game 7. It's not a playoff game. But when we played the Knicks, man, we just shrivel up. We do. We're not tough. We've got to be tough against this team. Don't let them shove you around. You let them shove you around at the Garden. Don't let them do that to you at home.
You got Harden out there tonight?
Got Harden's going to be on that. We're healthy. We're ready to go. So we'll see. I mean, we were healthy against the Thunder on Sunday. They were down 2 stars. We got beat. So we'll see how it goes tonight.
I was really hoping that having James Harden would give the team a bit more teeth.
I think
just a little bit.
I think it does a little, but I think it's the other 2 guys. I think it's the guys we got from Sacramento in that DeAndre Hunter trade. Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder. I think that's where we're going to get our teeth. Now, those guys don't start, but they will be coming off the bench, and I think they're going to get I think they'll get some playing time. I do. I think Schroeder's going to get a lot of playing time coming off the bench. But those are the guys that got a little chip. They got a little chip on the shoulder. And the thing is, though, Schroeder and Ellis are not as big in stature as Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. But they bring a little teeth, as you would say. They bring a little passion to the game that I think this team needs or needed. So we'll see how it goes tonight. 7:30. Don't forget the game's on Peacock tonight. Game's on Peacock. Cavs and the New York Knicks. Cavs about a 4.5-point favorite tonight. Come on, Cavs. Show me something tonight. Now you got to go to Milwaukee tomorrow. You've got the Pistons on Friday. So we're in the middle of a very tough stretch now with the Cavs. Very tough stretch.
Got Joe chiming in on YouTube. He says Allen and Mobley are not mean guys, and that sets the tone and makes us appear soft.
They're not. They are not mean.
They are not.
They're just not. That's not who they are. Every once in a while you'll see Evan, get a little, not even nasty, but he'll at least make a face, or he'll do a little flex or something. But J.A., man, that's just not his thing. He is not. These guys are too nice. They really are, and which is great. But man, on the floor, I need you to, hey, between the lines, man, I need you to not be nice.
Joe on YouTube he says we need a guard to be over physical, probably Schroeder.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yep.
Joe, appreciate you chiming in on the chat on the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. He's the guy. I've said that since they got him. Look, I know Dennis Schroeder has been on, 11 teams in 12 years? He just bounces around from team to team, and I don't know why. I don't know. But he is the guy that brings a little edge. He can score a little bit. He can defend a little bit. Now, you can't have him out there for 30 minutes a night, but you can have him out there for 22 to 24 minutes, and I think he can bring you what you need. The only problem is he's like the only guy on the team that does that. Keon Ellis, a little. But Schroeder plays with the most edge of anybody on our team. I mean, starters and guys coming off the bench. I mean, Tyson a little bit, but I'm talking about our starting five. Even Donovan Mitchell's not he's not that kind of a player. So you got Mitchell, Evan, and Jared Allen. Nice guys. Really nice guys. And then you look at the guys coming off the bench. You look at, Sam Merrill. Nice kid. Nice dude. Dean Wade. Nice guy. Good. These are all good people. Porter. Tomlin. Now, Bryant can get a little edgy. Thomas Bryant, he'll flex on you a little bit, but he just doesn't play a lot. Larry Jr., not a mean bone in his body. We've only had James Harden for 6 games. He's not gonna duck you, but he's not gonna start any issues. That's it. We just don't have a fire starter on our team. And some teams, they prey on that with us, and the New York Knicks are probably the one that does it the most. Celtics a little bit, even the Pistons a little bit. You saw the Thunder do it on Sunday, ripping the ball out of our hands, getting second and third chances, getting weak side rebounds. Drives me nuts. And I know it's got to drive Atkinson nuts. Again, this is not the NBA Finals tonight. I get it. We're only in February. But let's start maybe getting some good aggressive habits as we move through the schedule. We only got about 22, 23 games left. That's it. Then the playoffs. You get your seeding. I'm hoping we can get a 3. I'd love to get a 3 seed. I don't really want to. I really don't want a 4-5, but whatever. I'd love to get a 3. But we'll see how it goes. Cavs Knicks tonight on Peacock at 7:30. 821-1310. 821-1310. We're going to step out, take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit more about this boxing match between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao.
Forgot the big air quotes on that.
I did. I did a little deep dive into why this fight is happening because I wanted to make sure it was factual, and I came up with some pretty good stuff. So we'll get into that, and we'll set the schedule for the girls' district semifinals from our area teams tonight, and we'll start to put a bow on the Sam Bourquin Show on what's turned out to be a pretty nice day. AM 1310 WDPN.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-498-2098 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-498-2098 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-498-2098 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
How's Tommy doing now?
Much better.
You said it was asthma?
Yeah, he started with this cough and then he was wheezing.
That's terrifying.
Doctor said hidden triggers can make it worse. Things like dust, mold, even pests.
Pests?
Yeah, droppings and allergens from cockroaches and rodents can seriously impact children with asthma or allergies.
I had no idea.
We're making sure our home stays pest-free.
Don't let pests put your family's health at risk. Visit pestworld.org to learn more. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
In classrooms across the country, chronic absenteeism is on the rise.
Sophia A., grade 4, absent.
Julio M., grade 6, absent.
Aisha S., grade 12, absent.
These absences are often due to the absence of crucial needs, like transportation, healthcare, a working computer, mental health support. The list goes on.
Olivia H., absent.
Preston L., absent.
Chloe B., absent.
The reasons why they're absent are very real, and yet the solution is someone present to help them along their path. When site coordinators from communities and schools are on hand, they connect kids to the resources they need. And when they do, 99% of students are present and remain in school throughout the year.
Jacob O., grade 10,
present. Communities and Schools works directly with students, helping them overcome obstacles to succeed in school and in life. Learn more at communitiesinschools.org. Being present matters.
Imagine the hospital experience. There's a constant parade of serious doctors, countless tests, and a serious diagnosis. Scary surgeries are followed by painful recoveries. You're in the hospital for days, weeks, months. Now imagine you're a child. This is why Starlight exists. Starlight programs help kids in the hospital cope, build resilience, bolster confidence, and change their outlook. Because happiness matters. Visit starlight.org to learn more.
The heart is a glow, shoots up through the stony ground. There's no room.
Welcome back to the show. About 8 minutes till the top of the hour. 330-821-1310 if you want to get in. Leave your comments in the Q92 Radio YouTube channel chat. You can also give us a follow, like, and share at AM1310WDPN on Twitter, on our Facebook page, and X. You can follow me on Twitter at Sam Bourquin16. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Sam Bourquin16. All right, before we just talk a little bit about that Money May Pacquiao fight, I wanted to give you the up-to-date NBA standings because I'm sitting here looking, I'm talking about how I would love for the Cavaliers to get a 3 seed. because in the NBA, top 8 teams in the conference make it 4 versus 5. If you win that 4-5 game, you automatically play the number 1 seed. Usually, unless the 8 would beat the 1, which I don't see happening, but you never know. So right now, before the games tonight, this is the Eastern Conference. The Pistons are 42-14. Unbelievable. Celtics have the 2 seed. They're 37-19. The Knicks have the 3rd seed, 37-21. The Cavs are the 4 seed at 36-22. So this game to me carries a little bit more weight with that on top of it. The Cavs are only 2 games behind the Celtics for the 2nd seed in the Eastern Conference. So I will tell you this. Anybody the Celtics play or the Knicks play the rest of the way, I'm rooting for the other team. If you could get up to the 2 seed, excuse me, and that's not, that's very doable. Like I said, we've got 20-some games to go. You're only 2 games out of a 2 seed. You're only 1 game out of a 3. So this is very doable. The Cavs are 36-22 in the 4th spot. Toronto is in 5th at 34-23. They're 8.5 out. Philly is 6th at 31-26, 11.5 behind. The Orlando Magic are 7th, and the Miami Heat are 8. And I don't think the Hawks are going to catch Miami for that 8th spot. Now, they could. They're 3.5 behind. I don't think they're going to. So if the playoffs started now, I know we get that stupid play-in tournament, but right now I'm just going to go based on 1 versus 8. Right now the playoffs started, it would be Miami at Detroit, Orlando at Boston, Philly at the Knicks, and the Cavs would play Toronto. Cavs would have home court. They got the 4 seed. The Raptors have the 5. But that's where we're at right now. That's why I think this game's pretty important tonight. Again, not all eggs in one basket, and if they get, I just don't want them to get shown up tonight and embarrassed and outplayed and out physical tonight. I just don't want to. I don't want to have to talk about that narrative tomorrow on the show. I just don't. So I just wanted to give you those standings before we left you here this afternoon. High school basketball tonight for the girls. This is our schedule. Don't forget tonight coming up on 1310 WDPN. Christian will have the call tonight at 7 o'clock. Salem will play West Branch. Salem's the 21 seed. West Branch is the 4 seed. That's at 7 o'clock tonight. If you can't make it over, we'll have it on 1310 WDPN. Also tonight in Division 3, Louisville will be at Avon Lake. Leopards, the 24 seed. Avon Lake, the 8th seed. Number 24 seed Marlington is at the 3rd seed Northwest. Let's jump to Division 6. The 2 seed Central Catholic is home against the 18th seed Kirtland. That's at 7 o'clock. And then 15th seed Lake Center will be at the number 8 seed Dalton. Those games are all tonight at 7 p.m. That's girls district semifinal high school hoops. And again, West Branch Salem coming up tonight at 7 right here on AM 1310 WDPN. Baseball news, Chris Sale will not be a free agent after the 2026 season. Looks like the Braves announced they've agreed to a contract extension with the 36-year-old lefty through 2027, and there's a club option for 2028. He'll be paid $27 million this year, $30 million next year. He's making $18 million in 2026. Last year, he threw 125 and 2/3 innings. ERA, not bad, 2.58. His whip was 107, struck out 165, and he only walked 32. He's a 9-time All-Star, but again, he's getting up there, but he's a lefty. Left-handed pitchers are like gold in baseball. So Chris Sale going to hang around for a couple of years, it looks like, at least with the Atlanta Braves. Do I have time to talk about Pacquiao and Mayweather? I don't think I do.
Yeah, you got about a minute and a half.
Yeah, I don't want to rush through it. I'll save it for tomorrow. I found it fascinating on some of the debt that Floyd Mayweather is in and what he's gotten himself into over the last couple of years, which is the premise of why this fight is happening. But I'll save this for tomorrow because I don't want to rush through it right now. So bad time management by me. I'll make it up to you tomorrow. All right, let's check the baseball scoreboard here real quick before we go.
I think we had a text from Buck that says the Guards lost 11-3 to the Dodgers.
11-3. All right, so the Dodgers got the sticks out today. In Arizona, Guards will be back at it again tomorrow. We'll check in on them a couple of times and see what's going on. Cavs next tonight, 7:30 on Peacock. Come on, Cavs. Get it done. Don't let me down tonight. Don't be out physicaled. Be tough tonight. Be mentally and physically tough. Okay? That's all I'm asking. All right. Don't forget, Hoops coming up tonight at 7. Christian got the call. He's getting ready to go. West Branch and Salem tonight, 7 o'clock, right here on 1310 WDPN. Thanks to everybody for participating today. Thanks to Rainsburg. As always, a great job. Thanks to everybody for calling, texting, emailing, jumping in the live stream, the chat. Awesome. We love you. We appreciate you. And we'll do it all over again tomorrow, beginning at 3. Until then, go Guards, go Bucks, go Cavs, go Browns. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.